Ah. I never...
I'll go more in details behind the scene, but I really can't do it. You know,
so it basically just said 2016 didn't happen.
Well, basically, what they're doing for this one going forward, I can hear myself. Give me a second. I'm watching your stream. Okay, let's.
We're live. Okay, we're live.
That's
We're
awkward
live!
when doing this.
Coming at you live from the apocalypse.
Yes. So, long story short, yeah, they are going to pretty much say that 2016 in that universe did not happen.
Yay!
But in the follow-up of the afterlife, it's a continuation of their stories. That's all I can say. There's some flaws, but it's a relatively good movie.
Okay, I will take your
Oh my
word
god.
for it.
Rogue gave it praise. I didn't think Rogue was going to give this movie praise.
Hang on. I give movies praise when they deserve it. For example, Dune 2021, I'll give it high praise because it deserves it. Not just because of the cinematics, because of the in-depth storytelling that it's doing. Yes, it feels near the end a little kind of kerfuddled on exactly where it's supposed to end the actual part one. There's a few areas that they could have ended it quite nicely, but they are telling the original story from the first book, which is very long, by the way, as accurate as possible. And this is it. There are certain areas that they could have done a bit more on. I could have used a bit of the mind portion of it, where the people actually doing the thoughts. That would have been nice. That would have been hearkened to the 80s version of it. But
yeah,
the 80s,
that's what that was my question on that one.
The 80s version was overkill. That was the biggest problem I had with the 80s version. There's too many of it.
The whispers in the mind. Yeah,
it was kind
too
of much of it.
It wasn't that there was too much. It was just like too, like the entire time, and you had like that.
The time I didn't know who was actually talking, and I'm like, who's talking now?
Yeah, there was that, and but the only problem I had with it was the girl that plays Paul's girlfriend, because that was my only real problem with it.
Well,
she's the only actor in there that feels
Lady
like she does not belong.
the actress who plays Lady Jessica in the 2021 version, and the Zidane, who's supposed to be, or Zidana, whatever her fucking name is, for Paul's girlfriend, who eventually dies in the book.
Yeah.
Not really the book, the series. I really don't like them. They don't portray those characters well. If anything, the original principal actresses that played in the 80s version of it did it far better, because Lady Jessica is supposed to be stoic. The version that we have in the 2021 version, she feels, I don't know, off.
Out of place.
Yeah, she's scared in what she wants to do, where Lady Jessica was already had a mindset of what she wanted to do. She already turned herself as a renegade for the Bene Gesserit cult that she belongs to, and she's creating the Cuisinart cataract, like literally.
Yeah,
and yeah, here she just seems out of place. I don't know. I mean, I like some of the aspect of what they were trying to do, but I would have liked her to be a bit more, I don't know, stoic, a bit more focused on her agendas and more capable. Just something about it.
Yeah, that's it. There was something about that, because the mother didn't feel as capable.
Yeah, because when I compare it to the other movie that we had, That one seemed more capable.
Well,
She knew what she wanted to do. Even though everything was going tits up, she still had a plan.
Yeah, she still had these. This is part of the plan. Don't worry. In the '80s, one same way. Even when things went wrong, which we rarely saw. She was like, "Don't worry, part of the plan. It's fine." She had completely. She had invested so much time into this. She knew what she was doing. And this one was.
And this one is there's a sense of even when you face with the Gunja bar the first time you're introduced to that portion for that scene, which I thought was a very intriguing scene right away. It's just when you see Lady Jessica on the outside guarding the door, I'm like going, okay, she's going to be stoic and control. She's got everything down. She's going to be very forceful. No, she was very timid. She was very scared. I'm like going, what? Yeah, this is the person you put outside the door who's supposed to kill anybody to come in, who's going to come into that room. She looks like she's about to turn and run. Because she made a bad decision.
And the relief she sees with her, because of that, the relief she has when she sees her son is still alive is overcast.
Yes.
By that. And I did notice, I was like, why does this scene feel wrong? And I was like, she should be like, okay, I'm ready to kill anybody that comes in, but I'm worried for my son. And that's what the whisper, I'm like, I may not see my son again after this night. Instead, she says it to him before he goes in there. and I may not see you before after this night again. And it's like, what? He's just kind of like, okay, that's kind of ominous, Mom.
Yeah,
what the fuck's good? And he gives that kind of look like, okay. But I guess you have to go. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? It's like, oh, that's great. You have to respond to that. And it just doesn't feel as good as it does in the book or in the movie, the original ones. The one.
Okay, well,
go ahead, Sparky.
I was gonna say, with that being said, I started the stream without introducing or anything like that. Hello, welcome back to Re-Caffeinated with everyone. I wanted to start streaming because I wanted to catch what Rogue had to say.
Oh, what? No, I get it. I just.
So I was like, quick, hit buttons!
Hey, man, Squatch. But yeah, for us at the end of it, like I said, I was able to been gifted a viewage of a certain movie that won't be released for a while. But doing so, I put myself in more of a conundrum. I really can't say too much on any form of live air, but behind the scenes, I can do whatever I want.
Rogue has that imposed self-embargo.
What's kind of
to not get in trouble.
Look, I want to be able to see certain movies again for those options. All right, so if a certain friend says, "Hey, we're going to show you this, but can you not tell anybody at the moment?" It's like, okay, no problem.
Well, it's kind of you. There was a certain character that you were determined to hate, and now you're coming out and saying, you know what, it wasn't that bad. Was that character as bad, or was it redeemable after you saw it?
What the certain Ghostbusters Afterlife, or are we talking about Dune?
We're talking about the sequel that just came out. So.
I'm going to put it on the fence at the moment. I prefer to talk about more about Squid Game.
Squid Game. I hated that. I really hated that. I know everybody's like, that's so great. I'm like, you know what? I lived that. Fuck you.
You know what? It's like this. I didn't like Among Us. I don't like Squid Game. That's just how it is.
That's basically what it was. Among Us on TV.
Pretty much it was.
But anyways, I did find out something last night.
Oh, you did? What?
I drank
that he could drink a lot and lose his consciousness.
I drink too much.
You drink too much? Shit.
I drink too much.
I being you being part of the native clan, you found out that you drink too much and firewater is not good for you? Shit.
Well, I'm not saying it's not good for me.
Well, as long as you didn't beat anybody up and wake up.
No. But last week I started a stream, and I didn't say what happened last week because I was so pissed off I completely forgot about it. Yeah, I remembered it last night.
Okay,
well,
we're here.
So story time, Sparky.
Yay! Get popcorn, people.
You'll need it because I think this tops the Aaron story.
Well, I was gonna say, if it's anything like story time with Pen, then Wesley's gonna fall asleep. But it's not any time like story time. With
No.
That's anything.
Your stories are slightly boring
Here's
and
the thing. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what kind of story Pen says. Everyone always goes to sleep.
Pretty much.
Ouch.
Hey,
Sparky plus firewater equals drunken keyboard.
No. At least I'm not gonna say this. Like, if I had a wife and a daughter, I would want you to be like the daughter.
Ooh.
You know why I'm going with that one, don't you, Rogue?
Ooh.
That is like the worst fucking friend zone ever.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
If no one knows what I'm talking about the new series that just came out, My Senpai is Annoying, which is actually really fucking good.
See, I remembered where you were getting it from, but
you couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't.
Well, the second episode's out now.
No, is it?
And I'm refraining from watching it so I can do the watch club of Casey and Tyro.
Oh, only Casey and Tyro. Oh, okay. I get it. I see.
He started it not that long ago. Where the fuck were you?
And yet he pulls me aside as Pen. You have to see this.
Is that the one where the guy is like super tall and the girl is super short?
Yes, that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I don't need to watch it. I lived that experience a long time ago. To this day.
I know. So here's the thing. I started the watch club on that very abruptly because I found out about it. I watched the trailer. I watched the opening of it. It's like, oh my god, I kind of really want to watch this. And I showed it to Casey, and she's like, I kind of want to watch this too. All right, we gotta do a watch club on this. Okay, when we gotta do this, like, let's watch it now. I was like, shit, I gotta find people who want to watch this. Because, I mean, I love Casey to death, but she just doesn't know how to commentate. She's still trying to get you. She's more used to sitting down and watching shows and not talking about shows. So
it takes a while for people to get used to that type of format.
She's getting. She did really good on the first episode, but it's like I put out the word, and the only one that really responded was Tyro. So it's like, okay, we'll do this with Tyro then.
I'm gonna stop you right there, Rogue. And be incredibly racist by saying unless you're a black person from the hood in a theater.
Okay. But anyways, no, it's at least I didn't say that. But let me tell the story at the board last week, and then I'll go back into My Senpai's Annoying. But anyways, we have a couple Russians that come into the board, and they do all sorts of stupid shit. Well, a couple of those Russians, there's two females that come with them. And we always try to keep an eye on them because they've been known to possibly roofie drinks. We don't have proof of it, but they have been known to do it. It's happened when they've been there, but no one's caught them yet. Anyways, night goes on, I need to go to the restroom. So I get up and I go into the fucking men's restroom. I open up the door. One of the fucking Russian females is in there on the fucking toilet, taking a fucking piss. Now, in the men's bathroom, there is no stalls. So there's the toilet, there's a urinal, and there's a sink. And as soon as I walk in the fucking door, she starts screaming fucking bloody rape. And it's like, okay, alright, I messed up. I must have run in the wrong bathroom, turned around, looked down, the door said men's. I'm like, what in the fuck? Anyways, you can hear this girl screaming in the fucking bathroom, and one of her other friends came up and was like, I'll take care of this. And she walked into the bathroom, they're in there. Well, I'm incredibly fucking irritated at the moment, because it's like, I'm not gonna have rape fucking screamed at me whenever I'm walking into the man's fucking restroom to take a piss.
Okay.
Sorry, if she self-identifies as a man, it's not rape, so there you go.
No, she doesn't. No. She doesn't. She identifies as a woman, so.
Anywho, continue with
anyways, they both walk out as like, we're sorry about that. It's not a big fucking deal. It's like, no, it is kind of a big fucking deal. Look, if you can't fucking cross your legs long enough to fucking wait to go to the women's restroom, either have your friend stand in front of the fucking door to make sure no one fucking comes in there, because 1, the door lock's broke, and 2, there's no stalls in there, or go to the 2 private fucking restrooms at the other side of the fucking bar. There's 4 restrooms in this place. You don't need to come into the fucking men's restroom. Well, apparently they didn't like what I had to fucking say, and they started getting in my face, and I just really moved them aside. I was like, move, I've got to take a piss. I really don't care what you had to fucking say. And as I go in there, I start taking a piss, and both of them barge in there and start fucking poking me, pushing me, and yelling at me. It's like, well, we're just gonna walk in here when you're taking a piss. It's like, 1, I didn't know you were in here. And 2, this is the men's fucking restroom. So unless you're gonna help me take a piss, get the fuck out.
Righty?
Did they help?
I was gonna ask that.
No, they got kicked out.
Is this the start of Sparky's porno?
No, they
did one of them kind of do a whole reach around, and the other one had to support the nut sacks because it's that big?
No, I was going to say it was someone doing pulling down the back of the pants and spreading the cheeks.
Yeah, that's the other possibility. I mean, really.
Anyways, no, they went out and they started bitching to the bar owner. She's listening. And then she sees me come out of the fucking bathroom. I see her, and she's talking to them, and it's like, is that the person you're talking about? And they're like, yes, that's him. It's like, he goes, shut the fuck up and get the fuck out. I know your story's bullshit.
Well, congratulations, Sparky. You have people who can vouch for you.
I had every fucking dancer in that fucking bar vouching for me because 3 of them saw what happened.
Yeah, I mean...
And the owner already knows me, so it's like, when they heard the story, it's like, nah, there's something up with this. And when she saw who it was, like, nah, you guys are fucking lying.
People just love to fuck with you, Sparky. It's just amazing.
I don't know. I don't know why. I leave people alone. It's like, I don't even fucking bother anyone.
That's because you're a native boy. You know that's inevitable. I mean, pretty soon there'll be people coming up to you like, get off my land.
I'm like that anyways.
That's inevitable for everybody here soon.
Anyways, Mansrock goes, she must have been drunk. She didn't notice that the bathroom was clean.
Yeah, that is something that seems correct. Cause
I don't understand. Here's the thing: women always sit, but yet it always looks like someone took a shit on the floor in the women's bathroom.
No. It always looks like a murder scene happened.
Yeah,
yeah. As a woman, yeah, I do not use I avoid using the bathroom in public at all costs because
when I worked at a bar, the worst part about it is I would have to shut down one of the bathrooms at any given time and clean it because at 5 minutes out, it'd be right back to the way it looked after I did first break.
When I was doing again, this was in amongst my 20s, so I was trying to find an actual work and whatnot. So I ended up working for a kind of like a superstore that we have here, and I was the janitor. So cleaning the floors was fine, no problem. But we also were responsible cleaning the community toilets that we had. The men's room was great, no problem, even though it smelled like piss. Fine. Going to the women's washroom, I was like, yeah, fuck no, this is wrong. What the fuck?
This is more like
they had the little baggies for. I know they had the little baggies for the leftovers, and that just was in the toilet somehow. I'm like going, what the fuck is that? As blood's coming out of it, like, nah, I'm not touching that. No, you can't pay me enough for that. No.
It's like the scene from a Freddy Krueger movie.
Fuck, I thought it was more of a one of those weak ass slasher where you had the over exuberant person with the spray blood. I'm gonna pump
time.
It's a little bit more harder than it squirted everywhere. I'm like, how did he get it on the fucking ceiling?
Oh god, that's I was like, girls. I mean, I know you want to go out and party, but god damn it,
this is a public washroom. No drinking allowed. And how the fuck did you get it up there? Did you have to crawl your ass up here? I mean, seriously.
Did you do a fucking Rosemary's Baby shit? I mean, fuck.
I thought I thought The Exorcist was bad, and it's all pea soup, but no.
No. It can be far, far worse.
All right. Anyways. Going back to my senpai's annoying. So, Rogue and Penn, you've seen the show. What did you think of it?
Specify. I've seen a lot of shows.
I said my senpai's annoying.
Oh, thank you. I will. Preface.
I saw the first episode. Was like, wow, reminds me of my life as a younger person.
Basically, it's only been maybe 2 episodes. I will hold out. I will only hold out on at least the first 6 episodes. Right now, it's a decent, interesting start for an anime.
All right, for 1 episode out and stuff like that, did it do its job to kind of get you pulled in and go, hey, is this interesting enough to stay and watch?
Yes and no. I mean, seems kind of crazy weird antics. I mean, in comparative to the other things I've seen, it seems unbelievable to be 1. 2, very childlike for certain aspects, but yeah, like I said, I'm going to hold any form of criticism until about episode 3. It usually takes about 3 episodes for me to actually say yay or nay to something very quickly. There's the odd occasions where I will say outright no in the first episode, first 15 minutes. It's very rare. That's because of the fact that it's poor storytelling and craftsmanship. This one has something, and I'm still trying to figure out what it has. That's the problem.
All right.
Outside of the whole, I guess is. Yes. Outside the relationship dichotomy that they have, there's nothing really holding me to continue to watch the next few episodes. I mean, realistically, the Dragon Goes House Hunting, that caught me very quickly, because the moment I came across Letty, I automatically thought to myself, hey, that reminds me of Draconis. Is this true? So I went to the second episode and going, yeah, this is really like Draconis. Why? Who the hell came up?
I started reading. It came out a couple of years ago in the manga scene.
Yes, so. I know. I'm kind of going, who borrowed Dragonith? Did they follow him?
So Dragonoff has an adopted child
somewhere. I don't know. Did somebody actually know that he even existed? And if so, did he borrow a portion of his life? Because he's not really good with heights. He doesn't like certain things. He is somewhat of a coward on certain aspects. And yeah, he identifies as a dragon.
Well,
which is all Letty.
So I've got some of the episode pulled up from my watch club. I'll give it behind the scenes. I really don't think I might get in trouble for it.
Oh, not behind the scenes. Okay.
I'm not gonna show the full episode, so.
Okay, good. Let me just kind of look at this chat here, because man, Squatch is going on a tizzy here.
I know.
The office is 90% women. There are 3 restrooms. Women's room, which has like 4 stalls, and 2 unisex restrooms, 1 room each. The women's restroom has to be cleaned 9 times a day. No kidding. No kidding. I'm shocked about that.
Not shocked. Not really even shocked. Only 9?
The only thing I think that number is too low. You may want to increase it a bit higher.
Here was the funny thing. They would always complain about the in the military. The janitor would always complain to the higher ups that how much he had to clean the restroom. He wouldn't say which one. And he would say, "Oh, the restrooms are always dirty," and they were coming to us. I was like, "Look at this. This is clean. How is this dirty?" Oh, they usually not. I said, I talked to the guy with specifically which restroom is. Oh, it's the women's one. Okay, and so I said, be specific to the leadership next time. And he told them, and it's like, and they went to the women and said nothing because they knew they'd fucking get shit. It's like, no, you stop coming to all of us with the women's restroom bullshit.
Anyways, I've got this pulled up in the back.
I can see that you got it pulled up, and we're taking over by a women's washroom.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, no, I wanted to do this because the main female lead, except for like a couple aspects, reminds me of my wife. And I showed this, and I showed the first episode to a couple of our old co-workers because that's how I met Captain Hook. I met her at the job place. So I showed this anime to a couple of our old co-workers we worked with, and they're like, yep, that's her 100%. So it's like the first fucking episode got me, like, within like 30 seconds.
Funimation's got the streaming. Funimation and Crunchyroll are owned by the same people now, but they haven't merged their library.
Hey, it looks like you have the book collection.
So
It's not, ours is not on the bed.
No, too big.
Ups and bears. Okay.
Bears are bigger than I am.
I heard it. Put it in.
Oh God, I can't. I can't. She has to. She has to cook on the stove also.
Yeah, now that takes some skill right there.
Not to cook though.
At least she's cooking rice. That's good. Does the missus know how to cook rice?
No.
Hey, she's got a
Well,
rice
yeah.
Come on, it's very easy. It's got a fucking rice machine to do it for you.
We don't have a rice cooker.
I have a rice cooker.
I have a fucking rice cooker.
I enjoy that.
I mean, jeez. I mean, yes, you could do the whole classic, put it in a fucking pot, but you have to remember, you have to measure with a finger up to the first knuckle.
People say the worst. Have a preference, people. Someone asks, "Where do you want to go eat?" To have a preference. Oh, nice.
But
I'm trying to remember all the fucking bits that we had a good topic about.
He's trying to remember.
Oh, he's perceptive. Okay.
He's just being nice.
The look.
And she's so angry.
She is giving him the same look she's giving me.
I love how he just orders 5 burgers. It's like, yeah, I've been there. Like, I remember even like in high school, I was a big eater. Because like we went out for a field trip once. I was hanging out, and a couple of people I was with, so like a couple jocks, or something, and we got tacos. They would have like a couple tacos, maybe 3 tacos. I ordered 5. They looked at me as like,
Was it? Oh. So, and we did this unknowingly. I've never seen the show. I'm trying to remember what was is like
concept of what Sparky has explained to you, the viewer, is what I know. I think the most height difference I've had is about
based comedy, web, manga. It's fine.
Casey. Wait,
If
how should I
it's
prefer
gonna do well for
So,
anime version, but
okay.
And then I'll try to
I'll
grab
have to
with
wait
my
to
other
find
hand.
out.
She'll try to grab with her hand and just try to push me away. Alright, there we go. I said this at the beginning, and I didn't realize this was going to be in the show.
Try to head pat me.
Oh, I thought that was your online handle. That's my bad. All right,
That
Captain
works
Hook.
too.
Sorry. All right. So so one thing in the trailer was the big dude gives the little girl head pats. Now, all the girls I've dated have loved head pats. They love head pats. Like I give them head pats and they're like, "Oh yes, please." And they become like cats and they just snuggle against me as soon as I start head patting them.
Okay, great to know
Love
that Taro has
What
found
did
some
you
really
do?
weird,
You
interesting
tried to
ways.
head pat me?
She tries to fight against me.
Oh, it's Winsler.
She'll grab
my.
she'll grab my hand and try to push me away.
I don't like people touching my
okay.
head.
And then I'll try to grab with my other hand, and she'll try to grab with her hand and just try to push me away, and we'll send a kind of playing tug of war.
So basically,
okay,
Sparky's
so-
proven that he's the
also a
annoying
cat
boss.
response, I should
Yes.
note that is
Well, I
also
didn't
a-
realize that was going to be in the show. That's the thing. Well, here's the funny part. Here's the funny part about this, and it wasn't the height difference, and it wasn't the fact of I want to sit here and pick.
Everyone's taller than I am, so I don't really think about it.
It's not the fact I want to pick on my cute wife. But the
Sure.
funny thing is, it's how we met, because we met
At work.
at work.
Oh, okay. So this has like flashbacks for you.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Like I said, I've talked to you about my ex. She knows all about it and stuff like that. And I could tie it back to different shows and all that good stuff. This one for me seems like this is gonna be a perfect one for me, her to get back and watch later on, just laugh about it. If I'm correct in how this is, because I'm sorry, Igarashi does remind me a little bit of you. The only thing is, you're not as excitable as she is, and you're not as flusterable as she is.
Said Miss
Well,
Kobayashi
it's just-
reminded you of me.
Kobayashi reminds me of you.
Oh, for like Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way she acts all the time is it's how Kobayashi reacts.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, what was it?
Anywho.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
He's a good senpai.
Bitches love head pats. So cute. Sparkyception. If Sparky runs... Hey, I guess it's just the commercial? Is that a Spark?
That's loud.
I'm sorry. I love the show.
That's better.
Yeah. Don't care for romance.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, yeah. You see how that you got the two of them standing there in your screen. That's basically me and my wife.
Yeah, no. I kind of figured you guys live that particular lifestyle. I mean, with short people.
Well, everybody's short to me, but that's our marriage right there.
No, I mean, if you're connected with a short person, you happen to be the tall one out of the group. Yes, you're going to have one that's going to be considerably.
Okay. Good.
That's Sparky's laugh. Yes, it is. Be scared. Be.
He has to stand
I
on two
probably
steps
was
to
laughing
reach
too
my face. So yeah,
Busted his headset.
just stand on the second step up, and we're supposed to be about
Yeah,
the
my
same.
question
second
earlier
and
was,
third.
so that's
Yeah,
what you were
it's pretty-
describing, Sparky, when
pretty big
he like
difference.
grabs both
Yes.
of his
Oh, yeah.
hands? Okay.
That's actually exactly it.
It's pretty accurate.
The show itself, like I said, it's a web manga. It's what's basing itself off of. How far it's going to go, questionable, and it'd probably be a bit of retail here and there.
Yeah.
Oh no. Did he take a photo?
Yeah.
He ran it through a filter, no less.
Oh!
He took a picture. Look.
Never piss off a short person. I can say that much for sure.
Well, as Shakespeare said, a small pot and soon hot.
Yeah, that's about all I'm gonna show this. Save it for whenever it comes out, but it's.
Hmm.
There was a lot of comments. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned all of them while you were.
Yeah, I
not
know.
paying
It's
attention.
like Rogue is immune to romance. The Sparky, yes.
Yes,
I
you'll get used to it.
I guess you could say I got a big laugh. That's annoying.
Oh, he is boisterous. He's got a boisterous laugh.
And it's like, afterwards we got to talking about it. It's like, yeah, the show does kind of represent me and you a little too much. And it's like, where's the camera at? I don't know.
That's where the beautiful thing is. Short women need to be bullied. No, actually, most short women will bully.
Yeah.
Will bully or be bullied?
Well, it's like, it's like when not. See, I kind of enjoy Nagatoro, but I really don't. I like it whenever the roles are kind of reversed. No,
he just likes being, the bad boy of the group every now and then.
No, from everything I've heard about the second episode, it's better than the first. So
there are some improvements, but I'm not going to say it's uber. Like I said, it's based itself off of the web, so I still haven't found something that has hooked me to watch the rest of the series. All I've seen, it's pretty much the same mundane shit that's been produced. When it comes down to the rom-com that's based in an office setting, I'm like, okay.
Well, I know a couple of tropes that's in the manga itself, and that's the thing. It is a short-based rom manga, and there's no.
Well, I mean, it does have the similarities for something like Evergarden. Also, Devil's Line. What was the other one? Something.
Devil's Line. I haven't seen Devil's Line in like 2 or 3 years. That's the vampire one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I thought.
What was it? Hitorigimi, My Hero, or something like that. That's another one that tries to follow.
Well, so
A Centaur's Life is another good one.
There's 2 shows that this one reminds me of, and that's either New Game or I Can't Understand My Husband.
Yes, kind of within the same vein.
The only difference is I Can't Understand My Husband are like 5-minute episodes, like 3 to 5 minute episodes.
And something like this would have fared better with something a bit smaller in episodics. This would have fit quite nicely as bites on like a YouTube channel too.
Well, I went through and I looked at the realm. I've skimmed through the realm manga to figure out what the story order is. There's no congruent story order. There's no back to back, on the mangas. And it's like I went through and I tied in like episode 1 has shots from like chapter 1, chapter 20, chapter 50, chapter 110, chapter 70. It all mashed together into chapter 1, and it really makes it unknown of what kind of a story setting they're gonna make, because you don't know what's gonna happen when it's gonna happen.
That's why I'm saying for me, I need something of a better hook than just having, I don't know, a Peggy Bundy like character and an Al Bundy like character. I mean, but with Married with Children, even though it was an episodic going through, you didn't know exactly what the scenarios were, but the characters themselves were
the same.
Yeah, and they actually hooked you because you kind of go, okay, so what is Al up to this time?
Yeah,
and it wasn't always focusing on the house. It actually focused outside of, away from Peg and that, for just Al Bundy himself at work, or just Peg at home doing whatever she's supposed to be doing, which was absolutely nothing. The neighbors were another good addition to the series. Yeah, and then you had the kids, Al Bundy. So that's where it comes back down to. This one here, for what it is, series wise, I haven't found something to hook me. And
all right. Well, I know
I'm
they
waiting.
gotta go through. I know they gotta go through, and they're probably gotta play on a couple of these trips multiple times. The junior senior relationship. That's the senpai koi.
No, I get
relationship.
it. That is a standard
Yeah.
kind of for almost every business relationship. So I'm like, okay, that's a simple trip going throughout. The majority of their manga, even in high school style manga, or anime, can we get something a little bit different? Tack it on.
I understand. You gotta get the jealousy of a big boobs trope. I can tell.
That is the ongoing for that one.
Yeah, the female character, she's gonna have she's scared of everything trope, and you're also gonna have she loves cute things trope. You gotta have those 4 basic ones running.
So basically, you're gonna have Pen.
All right, so actually, no, I want to go back to Pen now. So, what did you think about the first episode? I know what you told me after we watched it, but what did you think?
I enjoyed it. It was cute.
You can't teach your coworker. Yes, you can. You just have to be careful and do it.
Hey, that's how I met my wife. So you can.
Wife or fiance? Because I don't remember seeing a ring.
I know. Stop it. Just except for that, he's already claimed her. That is basic. All he needs to do is sign that paperwork and put a ring on it.
Yeah. Well, there's a ring. There is a ring on it. We just have.
There we go. There we go. So officially, they are married. Congratulations. Now we're just waiting for the little baby Sparkies to show up.
But yeah. It was for being able to turn short segmented comics into an actual coherent storyline for the first episode. I liked it. It wasn't bad.
We went from we watched the somebody dubbed the first 10 chapters.
It's almost as if like somebody took the Pixie and Brutus and decided to make that into a cartoon.
Can I remind people that they've done things like that, like Garfield, Dilbert?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yes, it's not a new idea.
It's not a new concept, but it did it good. That's what I'm saying.
No. I'm not saying that. Look, of course they're going to do it good because of the fact that these are short snippets. You can fill in a lot of areas for whatever trope that you want to go with, but like I said before, it needs to have a proper hook. Now, hopefully, they'll find something that they can kind of latch on to outside of just I don't like big boobs and I'm super short and my boss is annoying, but I kind of think he's cute, so I have a thing for him. Outside of that, maybe there will be something there. Hopefully.
What would you hope for? What would you want to see out of this?
News radio.
Huh? Sounds good.
News radio.
You want to see news radio out of this?
Yeah. I want to see the dichotomy in an office. I want to see other characters outside of them.
This TV show.
Okay, so you want to see workplace ethics at work here, kind of like what they did in the new game, like showing how. And I think we're gonna get that. I think it's gonna be a mix. We're not gonna get a lot of like in depth what they do there. I think we're gonna get some. But I think a lot of it's going to be focusing on the 2 mains, the 2 subs, and some outside characters. Because there's a couple more characters that we see that we're going to see that's not been put in yet.
The general problem with most animes like this is they generally only focus on 1 or 2 characters. Unlike TV shows that focus, like, news radio focused on many different characters.
From what I get, there's 2 sets of characters. You got the main characters, the Takada and Igarashi, and then you got the other 2, and so you got 4 characters you're focusing on. 2 of them the main plot, the other 2 are just their sides, but there is a storyline that goes on with them because I think they even get their own chapters within the manga, I believe. And then you gotta get some some back and forth, I think, with the grandpa and Takada and Igarashi. Get some back and forth with Igarashi's friend and her. So it's gonna be focused not primarily on Downball and other aspects, but they are gonna be the main focus, is what I think.
I know, because you had the whole for news radio, you had the Dave and Lisa story that was kind of your main budding romance. But you also had the other characters like Jim the boss. You also had Andy Dick's character Matthew, who was kind of there yet not there. You could have removed him, and you would have never have changed the dichotomy that they had, because really. The supporting cast was Joe Rogan, Phil Hartman, and what was Alexander's first name? I forget her name. The one that played Catherine, the black chick.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name because she never really went. She's done a lot, honestly.
I know. I just can't remember her name. And then you had Vicki Lewis, who was also pretty good. The one that was the secretary, Beth.
The redhead.
Yes.
Yes, the redhead. Yeah, she was pretty good too. Yeah.
But again, I mean, Andy Dick's character was fine, but like I said, you didn't need him because you had some extreme characters already. So having somebody like Andy Dick, who is a kind of like a shocking character, he's just like
He worked with Phil very well, and Phil worked very well off of him.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, Phil and Joe were actually pretty good.
Yeah, but after you lost Phil Hartman, the show kind of it got what's his name in there in his place, and it worked for a little bit, but then
John Lovitz,
yeah, yes. And he did a good job, but the problem was Phil Hartman was kind of like
he was that because really when it came down to it was Dave Foley and Phil Hartman, that interaction was over the top.
Yeah.
And then you had Stephen Root, who was also very intriguing for the boss character. Yep. And Joe Rogan was always, even though he's supposed to be like the handyman out of the group, something about the way how he portrayed that character. Because you had a lot of comedians, which was great. And they were just kind of feeding off of each other. And that's something that I want to see more of when it comes down to these types of stories for an anime type venture. I need an eclectic cast in order to build off of the two main characters.
Well, have you ever seen Scrubs?
Yes, I have.
The show for the janitor is basically part of his stick came from Joe Rogan's stick on the office, or not the office, but the radio show, and it was kind of interesting because that you could tell there were certain aspects from that in there, and that guy was an older actor. There were the way they played that. But there were a lot of handyman that came from Joe Rogan's stick on that show that he portrayed afterwards. That came about because of him.
Yes,
and other shows as well. I mean, there were other parts of that show that went on to. It was a very popular show. The problem is when you lost Phil Hartman. I think it was the third, fourth season.
Yeah,
it couldn't go anywhere. And
Joe
Lovitz carried it for 2 more seasons.
Yeah,
but
because the other show that has kind of similarity. I mean, you could probably go with the Drew Carey show or Wings in that, but realistically, I think Coach was a really good. Even though it was when did Coach come out? I want to say the 90s.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Maybe 80s.
Either way, it had the same kind of character dichotomy. There was Jerry Van Dyke, who was the assistant coach. You had the Nielsen, who was your main focus for the entire series, but you had all these different other characters that helped build this weird little dichotomy. The guy that's voicing what is it? Who is that starfish from SpongeBob?
Patrick Starfish.
Thank you. You know who the voice actor is? Bill Frankenblake or Black. Yeah, he was in Coach. He did have a bit of acting before he went into voice acting.
Yeah. He played. Yeah, I loved him. He was also in How I Met Your Mother as the one guy's father, and very. Oh God, he was such a good actor.
Yeah.
I think he's still. Is he still alive? I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's still kicking. He's still
kicking. Because I thought he died.
So,
because I don't know why.
Just because SpongeBob is kind of SpongeBob is done because the principal creator is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tried to bring it back and it didn't.
He's not working. I mean, you need to have the. That's the problem. You need to have the original ideas in order for it to.
Well, they went woke with it. A little woke with it.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Should I be shocked on that?
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, so ultimately at the end of it, for me, Sparky, I can see something great, but it needs to have a more of a larger casting outside of just the two main focus that's supposed to be a love relationship.
I want to ask Sparky a question about a new holiday that has been invented by our current president that replaces an old holiday.
Juneteenth?
No, it was a day that happened last week.
So not Juneteenth. All right.
Indigenous Persons Day.
Oh, you mean you guys have that fake Indigenous holiday as we do up here?
No, it used to be Columbus Day. And then the president declared, "Oh no, it's Indigenous Peoples Day now."
So basically, like I said, you have that fake holiday that to represent or should represent natives. Sparky, I'm kind of curious on that one. Sparky, did you really want a holiday?
Especially one that memorializes supposedly the day where Christopher Columbus came and pillaged and raped and all this other shit your people. Because that's what we call Columbus Day now. And now it's Indigenous Peoples Holiday, so congratulations.
Still, I'm curious. I want to know if Sparky really wanted a holiday.
And Sparky's out.
Well, he's eyeing the the screen, but I don't think he's paying attention.
I don't think so either.
Sparky, me personally, as a character of a minority color in that, I don't need a holiday. I don't want a holiday. I don't think anybody should have a holiday. Let's just kind of stop this insanity.
No, Rogue, we can't. Because we gotta drive this train all the way into the ground.
Yes, I know.
Drive the train all the way to the ground.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Broke has already kind of went, you know what, I'm good. If you want to continue, just stop pointing towards me, going, see that person over there who represents a small group. We need to have I kind of follow suit with the a certain black man who has been God on many different occasions, as well as the a president of the United States before you actually had one officially, Morgan Freeman. And I don't need a holiday. Ken, do you have a Jewish holiday that is focused for everybody on you? I mean, should I say a Juban holiday? Should we get you one?
Juban holiday? No, but there are many Jewish.
No, but is it a federal thing? Is it a federal thing, or is it just really focused on the
federal? Whoa, that's a good question.
See, there you go.
Good question. Hold on.
The Irish have many holidays.
Jewish holiday.
The Irish have many holidays.
Yeah, most of the time they're drunk.
Yes, it's called the weekend.
Yes, I know.
Okay. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot,
those are paid days off, right?
Paid days off?
Yes.
I think Yom Kippur is recognized by the teachers. It's either Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah. It's either recognized by the teachers union, so yes, paid day off. Actually, I think those are the only ones. Yeah, it's either.
Are they recognized as federal holidays where the government would have to give their employees the day off? And
yes.
Congratulations, but Juban still No, on you.
There is no Jewish Cuban federal holiday.
Oh,
Like I said, we will have to get one for you then.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the Jubilee Day.
Yeah.
Jubilee. There you go.
Jubilee.
Cuban.
There you go.
I know, Wesley, you want a MILF Day, but what day would that be if you were given the opportunity to have MILF Day? One day out of the entire year. What day would that be?
How about we do it 1 year out of the entire century, and it'd be 69. Bad joke.
Definitely. That's why I said, eh.
How about
No, like I said, there's a point of insanity. Kind of okay, and this is where we kind of go. You've done enough damage. Let's now stop and reconsider a few things. Yes, and I think we should kind of go. You know what, you guys have done enough damage. Can we stop and just kind of, I don't know, breathe for a little bit?
Joe Biden can never do enough damage.
Well, that's Joe Biden. That's something I've learned with Joe Biden.
I've done plenty. I've given up. I'm not trying to do any more damage. So I don't know.
Give it up.
I've given up on doing damage or trying to fix things. I'm just like, fuck it. You know what? I'm just gonna watch this burn. I'm just gonna watch this all burn and drink a beer. So.
I mean, look, it's like a tire fire. There's only so many tires that you can actually put onto the giant flame.
No. I have learned there can be an infinite number of tire fires going on at the same time.
I guess, but even I kind of go, the chaos is great, but maybe it might be time just to breathe a little. Let some of the chaos kind of linger a little bit longer.
No.
But you guys want to rock it to the bottom? By all means, go for it. Go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But I will say it is time for a little bit of breathing. Because even up here in Canada, even how crazy we are, we do give ourselves a little bit of breathing room.
They're trying, but like I said, Biden has literally, because they'll be like, hey, it's time for peace now. Like, even the Republicans and Democrats are working together at this point to, how do we fucking stop him from fucking shit up even more? I was like, the Republicans and Democrats are agreeing, he is taking powers he doesn't have anymore. And they're going to, the wall. The wall, I'm stopping the building. It's like, how? You don't have the authority to just say stop. And because you lost that authority. And they're taking it quietly to the Supreme Court to be like, hey, he doesn't have these powers anymore. He needs to stop. And they're not bringing it up in the news. They're not bringing it up in the media or the papers or anything. They're just trying to keep this shit quiet. That they're working together to get his ass out in order to get him to stop doing this shit.
Well, I mean, getting his ass out, that's not going to be a possibility because look who they have as the replacement.
Well, Kamala is here was the thing. They were like, she's been hiding, and she's even more hated than him. Buttigieg has a lower, no one had on his staff. Buttigieg, I call him Buttigieg. Buttigieg doesn't have the, no one on his staff has a rating higher than him, and they're all quiet. And he is even quiet right now, and it's just still fucking dropping. I mean, how? I mean, he basically chose a staff so bad that they had to keep him no matter how bad he got.
True.
Diversify, right?
Yeah, always diversify, yes.
He I mean, everybody bitched about Trump's choices.
Oh, as if pen works. See, I see where you're getting there, Wesley.
Trump had a staff that would replace itself almost yearly.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody complained about how horrible they were, even though they never really did anything.
Look, a lot of them were actually offered to him by people on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, have you heard about this Dr. Fauci guy? Okay, yeah, I remember him back in the day. Yeah, we use him for a few different projects. Okay. So you're saying that I should use him? Yeah. He's really good. Okay, he's really good.
And now that's not even getting into the Fauci thing.
I know. June 9th? Why June 9th? I mean, really.
It sounds like June 9th. June 9th. There you go. It works.
I guess. MILF Day will be on June 9th. So.
He wanted it for MILF Day.
Oh, wow. So I'm going to share something in the back office I just found on Twitter.
He found something on Twitter and he's going to share it in the back office.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I'm looking at KG shit.
No.
Why am I looking at KG shit?
Not what I wanted.
I've seen this.
Copy link again.
Oh god, what are we gonna see here now? What are you showing us, Sparky?
Okay.
Something about the Death Star. Let's pull this up so I can take a look at this tweet. Destroys one planet, destroys 5 planets, destroys an entire universe. Not really. I'd really rethink that one. No, she hasn't destroyed an entire universe, so she's attempted. I'll give you that.
She hasn't. She's might actually destroy the indie universe.
But really? But Indiana Jones is already destroyed by bringing the fucking Crystal Skull.
This Crystal Skull. Well, it hurt it. It
did not hurt it, Jim. It killed it.
Yeah, that's true. It did.
Killed it dead. DED dead.
They're still trying to fuck the dead body.
Well, she wants to disintegrate the dead body. Literally, she is the disintegrating.
No, here's the beautiful thing. She's going to retcon it. That means that anything after Indy 2 does not exist.
Yep.
Hell, even Indy 2 is going to be questionable.
And then she's going to do them all over again.
It is what it is. We have a Vlad that's in the house.
We have a gold poo.
I just woke up.
Hey, I just woke up. How you doing?
Some of us just woke up an hour ago, so you're in good company.
Oh shit!
Fuck you! I've been up for like 4 hours. So what the hell?
I said some of us. I didn't say you. I've been up for only an hour and a half.
No, I've been awake for like 10 minutes.
And the first thing he decides to do is to jump onto this crazy live stream.
Of course he did. What else are there not to do?
Well, I did invite him yesterday, so.
Oh, you invite him into the space. See, this is something that's called Sparky's fault. Got it. If anything, it'll be hashtag blame Sparky. Do you usually hashtag blame Pen?
No, it's still blame Pen.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, that's going to happen anyway. She's going to be blamed anyway. She's taken the front for all the mistakes. So congratulations.
She's even the Biden mistake. So there you go.
Oh, damn.
That's rough.
Usually she says okay, but this one she was like, nope, I'm thinking about that one.
Unfortunately, that was the thing that she put out there.
Yeah, it's blame Pen.
You're regretting those decisions there that you made a long time ago?
I regret nothing.
Really? That's good to hear.
Wow.
It's good to hear.
No, it's not, because you haven't lived the life if you haven't lived regret. And I have a shit ton of regret.
I have very little regrets.
Well, then you haven't lived much yet.
Regrets. I regret my decisions. No, I don't. But really,
I don't have any regrets because every single decision I ever made, I knew was the correct decision, even if I suffer consequences later.
Hey, you have not lived until you have suffered consequences.
No. I can't say I've never had a consequence. Sorry, but I've never regretted anything.
Oh, I haven't. Like, you've never been married then, so you're good.
No, I have not.
It's not been in part of my playbook.
I get you.
Then I don't regret that it's not part of my playbook.
I'll be right back.
I've heard some really great stories about these lovely things called marriages.
Mm-hmm. And I've told you about them quite a bit. So.
Well, yours is very interesting. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, interesting. That's one way.
Yeah, of course.
But it's going somewhere. We'll see. But
I see where his mindset is. He's trying to do the whole 69 thing. Because June is the 6th month, and on the 9th it'll be a 9, so 6 and 9. Yeah.
What I said, but you know.
Yeah, no, like I said. Well, I wanted to get confirmation from a certain person that decided to make that combination possible. So Wesley has agreed with you. That is it.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, so it's confirmed. You're right. Congratulations.
Yeah. And on the 69th year of every century, we hold a jubilee.
A jubilee.
A jubilee.
Huh.
Will there be
a grand celebration?
Well, will there be a lot of Jubins be involved?
No, that's jubilee.
I think you're confusing Jubilee with orgy.
Yeah, Rogue.
Yeah, well, same.
Yes, Sparky.
I sent you something.
I just saw it now.
Okay. Tell me what you think about that one.
I will look at this right now while you guys talk about awesome stuff. I'm not hearing any awesome stuff.
Okay, Vlad, you're up.
I like chicken. That's all
You like chicken. You don't like the tendies, though, right?
I don't like what?
The tendies.
The tendies? What?
I'm making a failure reference, so you can say no, I don't.
Oh, I didn't watch him that much.
he always says like, "Gotta give me those tendies."
Oh, that's because he's probably got beaties. So I mean.
All right, yeah, that should be true.
Probably is. Who cares?
Yeah. All right, so I'm sitting here watching KG play with Minx on Twitter. It's a Phasmo clone. It's another Phasmo clone. It's called Hunter Chaser.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, this just does not look good.
Really?
That just sounds like a ripoff of Hunter Seeker.
Yeah.
Yeah. It pretty much is.
Speaking of Hunter Seeker, I have zero faith that the new Dune movie will be any good.
Oh, we just talked about that. Like
we just talked about that. It's not.
Guess what?
Bad.
It will be good.
I like. So here's the thing. All right, I'm in the minority. I liked the '80s Dune movie.
I did too. And
welcome to the minority.
It's good.
I'm not. Let's put it this way. I wasn't a huge fan of that particular cobbled together version because that is a movie done by a committee, unfortunately, because they took the principal director, fired him because they didn't like the way how it was going. It was over budget, and so they cobbled together what we saw at the end. Now, his original movie we'll never know because it's dead. In comparative to the 80s to 2021, both of them are individual movies, we'll put it that way. There's certain aspects that is borrowed from Jodorowsky's Dune, the 80s version of Dune, to make this Dune.
Wait,
I know what you're Vlad, I know what you're thinking.
Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah.
Jodorowsky is a Spanish director who was given a task to make, well, artist really, given the task to actually make said movie before give it to somebody else. He had a whole different idea, but a lot of his work because he had it all storyboarded out. Because he hired the best storyboarder, and it was eventually turned into a comic. His version of Dune is impressive.
But I like David Lynch.
I don't like anything David Lynch does.
Really? Why? I'm like a huge David Lynch fan.
One, he is very predictable. He's not outside of the box. And like any other wannabe, unfortunately, within that field, he's an asshole.
I mean, I have nothing against asshole directors, but the thing
No,
is,
because of the factor of his assholeness, he puts certain projects over budgeted and behind the eight ball to a point where somebody else is going to fire him to finish his work.
Yeah. So I think what you mean is he's pretentious.
Doesn't matter. He's an asshole.
Vlad, I think I know where you think you're gonna hate the new Dune. You think you're gonna hate that kid that plays Paul Atreides, right?
Oh, absolutely, and that's because
I thought the same thing, and I was very impressed with the kid's acting.
Okay, so I watched a movie with him in it not that long ago. I have an obsession with like historical movies, so it was actually he was in the movie The King, I believe is what it was called, which was a Netflix movie, and I thought that his role was absolutely fucking horrible and boring, and he was the worst thing about the movie.
Well, that's what I thought too when I saw that movie too. What I realized is it wasn't him; that was the part.
Yes,
this kid took Paul Atreides. And
remember, Paul is supposed to be a 15-year-old at this time frame when he's introduced to Arrakis. So, unlike the original movie, where you're looking at a guy that looks like he's in his 30s, who is introduced to Arrakis, this actually tells the story better when it comparative to the book.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, okay, I'm not going to say that the David Lynch's version was at all faithful to the book necessarily, but the thing that I do like about David Lynch is that I like his obscure style of directing, which is something that he did in Dune and other movies where he does this weird, like autistic fucking weird shit. That's what I liked about his stuff. But the thing is though, at the same time, I've watched other Dune things since, like the mini series was absolute garbage.
The Children of Dune?
Yeah. No, they actually did like a straight up Dune like mini series.
Yeah, you talking about the sci-fi one?
Yeah.
Then no one really pays attention.
No one really pays attention. But like I said, this kid does an absolute. I was like, wow, that is believable. That is well acted through. The kid has the raw emotion he shows when he puts his hand in the box. Yep. I was like, fuck me, holy shit! That kid. I was like, okay, this might stand a chance if this kid can keep the pace.
Like I said,
the entire first movie, he keeps the pace. He keeps up the part very well. The only person I had a problem with, as far as acting wise, through the entire movie, only one person. And that was the girl who played Spider-Man's boyfriend in Spider-Man,
the not really Mary Jane.
The not really Mary Jane girl. She was the only one that I thought felt lacking.
Yeah,
actually, I felt like she was.
I felt like she was literally on an iPhone the entire time.
She probably was. Zadina or whatever it was supposed to be. But I also had an issue with Lady Jessica's principal actress. Something about areas of her character in comparative to both Lynch's Dune, which I really can't call it Lynch's Dune. In the book, she doesn't portray herself as a very stoic individual, as the book does.
I don't blame that on the actor. I blame that on the scripting.
No, in this case, I think it was the actor. She actually made herself a little bit more weak than what she should have been.
It could have been, yeah.
Well, but here's my usual big hot take, though, and that is as far as the best media book adaptation of Dune, in my opinion, was the song "To Tame a Land" by Iron Maiden.
Mm.
So like so far, like for some weird reason, that one song, in my opinion, does better than even the David Lynch movie or the show, and I'm pretty confident it's probably gonna be better than that movie.
Oh yeah, no.
So.
You'll have to see it for yourself. Right now, since the Europeans have seen it, and this is something on their bread and butter. Is known for them. They love the entire franchise that is Dune. It's made its money's worth just on the European market.
Well, I will say that it being European market, I have a little bit more faith in it than I did 5 minutes ago, because I feel like anything America touches, for the most part, when it comes to films, just ends up turning into popcorn garbage.
Oh, that is true. That is true. That's true. Yeah, no. At first I wasn't 100% sure exactly where they're going, because the way how Ferguson. I think her name is Rebecca Ferguson. The way how she was coming across, that this would be more of a women power type movie. I'm going, yes and no. If you actually follow the book, it isn't. It's more like an FU to the whole matriarchy system, and it doesn't work down the road because things get fucked up, especially within the actual franchise itself. Both sides need to, compromise and work with each other in order for it to be very successful down the road. That's what the Children of Dune is supposed to, especially that book.
I only read the first book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not like well read with the whole series.
I mean, Frank Herbert was very forward thinking when it came down to the feminist movement. But he also had the mindset that it took two roles in order to form a functional whatever it is, political venture going forward, family structure, whatever. So you need to have both male and female. You can't just have focus on one or the other in order to be successful. You need both of them to be shared in order for a very fruitful world. And that's where you get to see with that particular franchise all the way up until his son takes over, and then it becomes completely, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. It's a weird story afterwards. But no, Herbert's version, yeah, I when I look at something like Dune, and I know the source material very well, and I know it's more of a European type flair, because if you look at the background for even Dune, it's almost like you have Europeans coming in to take over a Muslim-based culture. Because these are all desert people. And how many different cultures you have that are focused in desert?
Not very many.
So we have these white Europeans of either a mixed combination, because even in Dune 2021's version of it, it gives you that the Atreides are a combination of the Celtics and the Spanish. They're kind of like a weird blend of these two different cultures who are coming into a more Muslim-based society and trying to keep a certain business going, where the Harkonnens have pretty much pillaged as much as they could, and we all know that it's a ploy to kill off House Atreides. But part one, the only thing you'll have probably issues with is the ending aspect of it. That is where I think that's the weakness of the entire movie, outside of a couple of the characters. But
it's like a cliffhanger?
Yeah, basically, because the director, he wanted to be very faithful to the book. Unfortunately, for almost 2.5 hours long, it's like they're trying to find a way to end it. Almost like the episodic that was Lord of the Rings, where you're trying to find a space to end it. You end up, leaving it off on a mountain range.
Yeah, like, okay, so I don't understand why. I love cliffhangers. I actually prefer them as endings. Like I like movies that are that are singular movies
Mhm.
that end on a total cliffhanger and have no intent or thought on a sequel whatsoever. It's just fuck you.
Yeah.
So like that's like I have nothing against cliffhangers. Like I mean I can see why it would be bad if it flopped. Though like that's actually a pretty big risk to not have an ending. Like an actual like concluding ending. But
This
yeah,
is this is where I can see. Sorry to interrupt, but this is where I can see where the weakness of the film is going to be. It's the factor that it didn't just end with a proper cliffhanger, so that it has a degree of hook going. This is where we're going to go next. Like for example, Episode 4 for Star Wars. It knew exactly what it needed to be. It ended, but there was still more to the story. So when you get back into it, you're 5 years down the road, and you've got the Empire, landing on a snow planet. But yeah,
right.
that's where I say for me personally, I think that's where the weakness is. But overall, critics are mixed. The people who have seen the film have seen it multiple different times. So if we're going based off of critic versus the normies say it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm, and that's where I always get mixed because, on one hand, you had a bunch of normies that thought the Joker was really good and critics hated it, and I agreed with the normies
Mhm.
ultimately. But then you got the same normies that really loved the Avengers films, and that makes me want to vomit in my mouth and then use it as lube to fuck my own ass.
Mhm.
Right? I fucking hate the Avengers films. They're like the personification of everything I hate about like mainstream fucking films.
Yes.
Just period. Because I hate popcorn. Actually, I got in an argument with Lo-Fi over this years ago. I said that I think there's a good place for popcorn movies, and I'm not gonna say it's not important to the culture or whatever, what have you. But the fact we have basically zero highbrow films every year is fucking gross. Joker being one of the only one that happened in like a long time, before it came out. And it should be more of a trend. And like my favorite movies are shit like that. Like There'll Be Blood is one of my favorite movie. Actually, it's the favorite movie of all time that I have. Like there's a lot of all the movies that I like have some amount of intelligence to them. And maybe this is biased because I grew up on like 40s and 50s films. I grew up
Makes
watching
sense.
all black and whites and
Yeah.
shit. But and don't get me wrong, like fun movies can be fun, but man, like when they're made to be fun and they just suck is where I get annoyed. Like Avengers, I think just sucks. It how do I put it? It's like watching a cartoon
It is.
and it's written like a porno. So like every single dialogue scene only exists as a means to get you to the next sex scene. I mean
Mhm.
fight scene. And that's and you throw all that together and into a cartoon like fucking experience and just and the basic structure of the scripts are basically identical, right? They just kind of repeat the same motifs over and over again and just
Yeah,
they
they borrowed that from the Iron Man script, and they've kind of continued with it. Because if you look at the very first collection of the Avengers, we have all three kind of teaming up for the first time.
yeah.
You can see that was going to be the same thing over and over and over again because they found something that worked. It made them a pretty good amount of money. And the old saying in anything in Hollywood, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where I find it boring.
No, I
I
agree.
watch and there's just a lot of movies like that, and to be fair, it's not unique to Avengers. It's just that, Avengers happens to be the least entertaining to me. Whereas people could say the same thing about God damn it, I never remember the name of the fucking movie ever. Like I don't like it when they name movies after somebody's name because I forget names, and so I just forget the title of the movie. fucking movie where with Keanu Reeves, the dog got killed and he went cuckoo crazy.
Oh, I know who. It's like the Jason
John
Bourne.
Wick.
Yeah,
Thank
John
you,
Wick.
Yeah, John Wick. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you can make the same criticisms about John Wick, but somehow or another, I still like John Wick more than I like Avengers.
Oh well, John Wick itself has even though it's about a guy that's avenging the death of his dog, it kind of scales upwards and it gets away from the vengeance of his dog, because once the end of that movie happens, he opens up another shitload of can of worms.
Right.
Because now, because of the fact that they killed off the mafia boss's son, it opened up another issue, and now he's going against his order, which opens up another issue. Now he's got to kill everybody in that order to save his life. And there's another issue that's been opened up. It's like going, so there's always something bigger that's being opened up.
Right.
Whereas the Avengers, there's nothing bigger that's happening. It's like the biggest they got was Thanos, and after you get to Endgame, you pretty much are done. You can't get any bigger.
Yeah. Unless you make a new villain, and every time they've done that, they fucked it up.
I mean, they could have taken their time with the Ultron story. That would have been a lot more easier. Take a sub-villain and focus on that story and to create the bigger villain that is Ultron. Well, and then take a lot of sub-villains in order to make the bigger story that is Thanos. Now, I understand for them, they were under the 8 ball. Feige and friends had this amount of acting pool for 5 years or whatever, however long 5 movies are. That's it. I think it was like 15 years, give or take. But after that, it's over. So, yeah, they're going to do a suicide-type movie very quickly all the way through.
Well, here's the problem with a lot of superhero movies. They always kill the villain.
Yes.
Where the comic books, they just catch the villain, or
the villain survives or flees.
Yes.
Or is alive somehow, but you know how they survived, and you find it later through the book.
I mean,
Batman always ends up with guns for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because the villain is always kind of survivable and reusable down the line with a better and bigger plot. The problem is with comic books is they kill the villain all the time. Literally, almost all the time. There's only like Batman, the one Batman movie with Heath Ledger's Joker. That was the first time in a while we hadn't had a villain killed other than in the Riddler or Mr. Freeze or a couple other villains. But when you kill off the principal villain, you essentially lose the ability to tell the story anymore. Is the problem that most superhero movies have. I mean, Superman did it right with the Christopher Reeve Superman, where you kept on capturing Lex Luthor.
Yep. Yeah, which it's annoying that those movies, the Christopher Reeves Superman movies, are like the only Superman movies I even like. It's actually really obnoxious to me.
It's not because of the actor either. It's always because of how they write superhero movies now, if you've noticed.
Yes.
Because we're going to kill off,
it's like, God, I don't know. I don't know what it is about older movies. I think, honestly, that just the advent of digital made everybody lazy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like, because I've watched movies that are new, right, that were actually really fucking good, and watch them that are really, but all of them always fall into one category, and that is they use little to no special effects, like the movie Joker.
Well, digital film ruins it because the space of a hard drive takes up less than a film and costs less.
Yeah, and the thing is I actually get another cool example, like historical films. One of my favorite historical films of all time was made in the fucking 70s, and that was oh God, you see, the problem is I am the worst here today.
No, it's okay. I mean, you eventually figure it out.
What is the name of that French guy? The basically the only cool thing the French ever had. Napoleon. Yeah, Napoleon.
Yeah.
There was a 70s movie called Waterloo.
Yes.
And Waterloo is a perfect example of what happens whenever you actually have a good team and you don't have the ability to do CGI, and you see, thousands and thousands and thousands of literal men on the battlefield that are trained in the particular styles that they're trying to showcase of the 18th century. And it's beautiful. Like, the entire battle sequence is fucking amazing, And they didn't just get people to do it; they got fucking. I think it was like the Russian military to come in, and they volunteered to do it. They like, everybody was excited to showcase this battle, and that passion doesn't seem to exist anymore.
This is the reason of why I'm kind of taken back on this particular version of Dune. It seems like the director was very passionate and was very focused on reducing the amount of CGI. There is a fair amount of CGI that's in there for a lot of the big set pieces, but a lot of the Fremen parts that they have, there's virtually no CGI.
Well, actually, and that's the other thing too. The worms are my main fear, because the worms in Dune '84 with the David Lynch were amazingly done.
I would have to say the worm in this one, the way how you see the funnel column, it's almost like an eye.
Yeah. But I do, like, I don't know. I guess the best way to put it is I'm cautiously,
optimistic.
I want it to be good, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's basically for someone like myself who have seen a lot of different movies and will compare it from old to new styles of venture. There's certain principal directors that I enjoy, or story writers or whatnot, but I give everybody an opportunity, because again, I view that media is an entertainment and has been produced to be viewed or watched in some way, and it needs to be watched, whether it's good or bad. As for Dune going forward, I would say this is the closest, because I know Hollywood has been trying to figure out the Frank Herbert version into their cinematic world, and they've came close on a few different areas and failed miserably within those areas that they came close to. The one that was the highest budget, that would have cost them at least $14 billion, was Jodorowsky's Dune, and going back into the 70s, it was never going to be a thing. And it was a 14-part movie, because it was 14 hours. It would have been a 14 hours worth of movie. No way to break that up. Impossible. So this is the closest that I can actually say that is towards the book, to give you the largest scale that the book gives you for the world, the universe that is Dune.
Yeah, I think they're trying to with the worms. They're trying to and build up anticipation, because they haven't really shown the worms. They've only shown the mouth of them swallowing things so far, and they haven't shown them above the sand yet.
Correct. No, that's
they're trying to save money. They're trying to save money, because it's going to be a long haul.
Well, that's where that's going to be interesting for the part 2 aspect of it. Is you're going to see Paul ride the worm eventually. You're going to have the final square off with the Emperor. So a lot more of that aspect, that back end, is going to be more exciting. Now, is it going to be a 3-parter? I don't know. Could be a simple 2-parter, hopefully. But right now, for the episodic that is Dune Part 1, I would say it actually did very well of trying to meet up with the book.
Yep.
Well, I've heard a lot of mixed things about it. So.
Oh yeah, no. Again, there's always going to be somebody who's going to be mixed on it, because there's certain people that forget that there's a book that it's trying to base itself off of.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is, like, I will say one thing I try not to do with book movies is compare the book to the movie.
Yeah, no.
It's pretty hard. It's hard to do sometimes, but I try not to. The only times I usually do that is like the one thing I actually do hate about film adaptations a lot sometimes is whenever they showcase a part of the book, but they don't showcase any of the things that are important contextually to the part they're showcasing. And it's like you do realize that you killed all the build up to this thing. Like I'll give an example, like in Harry Potter.
Okay.
In these in the books, Harry Potter was the only one that had the balls to say fucking what's his face's name, Voldemort's name.
Yeah, Voldemort.
And so in the
him and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, by the time the seventh book happens, they basically curse the saying of his name, and then if you do that, they just show up and swarm you, right? They didn't really do a good job of showing that in the movie, the seventh movies at all, really, and it was actually really kind of annoying because it just they skipped that whole part. And they showed like a little bit of it, but didn't really bother kind of explaining how that happened. And it just, if you hadn't read the books, that scene would make no sense.
Yeah, they never really did. But you got the opposite side on the comic books, where comics actually can be made into great movies because the storyboard is already drawn up. Like literally, the whole thing is storyboard, and you could just take a comic and turn it into a movie. But they never did.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally a story.
Decide, I want to do my own thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's what I liked about the director who was given the synopsis of the book, because he was going to go in a completely different direction. He was actually going to go whole hog on the Messiah story, and but he did the
80s version.
Yeah, no, but he did more on the story, the storyboard. And as like I said, I wanted to be able to take his storyboard, because it is like a multi-page book. I'm going to say it's over 100 pages, and just kind of skim through exactly where he was going, because he was bringing out the best of the best actors in that. Hell, he wanted, instead of Sting that they brought in for the 80s version of it, he wanted the lead singer from Rolling Stone.
Sting was better. Like, come on, like
no, actually, realistically, Sting is blonde in the actual book. There is no blonde in House Harkonnen.
I thought that I was pretty sure they dyed his
hair
red.
They do not have a blonde in House Harkonnen.
Well, no, that's not. No, I didn't say that there was blondes. I'm saying that I'm pretty sure they dyed Sting's hair red.
No, it's actually a shitty. It's actually a shitty blonde. The way how they dyed it.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out red. It's more of an orange color.
Yeah, the reason that's why he had that hair color at the time is because he couldn't go red because he was still performing during those shots.
Yeah, and that was like a wash-in.
Yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing done, and he's like, I can't dye my hair red. I want to do this, but I can't because a redhead on stage was basically a death sentence.
But I don't really get too far into that territory, because I know a lot of people with Game of Thrones complained that see, now that I'm like hating on Game of Thrones now, I forgot most of the names of the characters, but they were complaining about the blondes that were supposed to be blonde. Like, a lot of them ended up not having blonde enough hair or almost black hair, and I'm just sitting here like, come on, I don't care.
There are certain exceptions I will give.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna bicker over hair color. I don't really give a shit usually. Now I get like thematically why it would work, or why it matters a little bit, but I'm not. I don't really put that much care or thought into it. My main thought is like, is the actor good in this part? And that's kind of like my main thing.
And if I had to go with the way how the character is supposed to be portrayed and what we were given in the not so David Lynch version, I would say that Sting did not play that fake character to the highest level. Because the character himself is more of an assassin-based character that has been made to be believed that he is the best duelist.
Yeah, well, one thing I hated about one criticism I have about the character is they made the character out to be kind of like a rich boy.
Yeah,
You know, like he just came off as honestly like a Justin Bieber.
yeah, and that's where I had some issues. I'm like, no, that's not the way how that character is supposed to be, because even though his uncle, the Baron, was kind of putting him up in line of taking over House Harkonnens, he kept him at afar, knowing that eventually he may have to kill the boy. So he was good looking, yes. He was an assassin-based character, yes. But he was also gifted a lot of those kills. Yeah, he went into the slave mills that they have in order to battle them, but a lot of the times they were either pre-drugged or he knew where the weakness was.
I posted a couple pictures of Sting's hair.
Yes,
during that time.
I know, I saw that.
If you notice, like the hair color changes depending on what
lighting
they use. Sometimes it looks very blonde, sometimes it looks very red,
orange.
Sometimes it looks orange. Looks like Donald Trump. I mean, no, literally, you got like Donald Trump's orange hair color from back in the day. Oh shit, I missed that.
No, but like I said, they did it for what they were able to piece together for that time frame. Yes, it was fine. It was passable for what it was supposed to be. But like I said, for the character, there's a lot more in depth to the Fate character. So yeah, it's just something that I kind of look at going, trying to get a Frank Herbert's Dune into a giant cinematic, it was going to be a challenge. And David Lynch, untethered, might have been successful, but unfortunately, studios hated the factor that he was taking too long in making the movie, and he was over budget. And he wanted more money.
So who do they have playing Faye this time? Because have we seen him yet?
We haven't even got there yet. We're basically at the end of the day this is a one and done movie at knowing it's supposed to be a sequel. And on the basis of the success of the HBO Max venture, as well as the additional, because this is going to be simultaneous released for the United States and their streaming service for HBO Max. But overseas, it's already been very successful. It's actually made its budget overseas. The only thing is, it's got to surpass its budget. It's got to do 2 times. So it needs to be within the 300 million mark in order for it to be considered successful.
Yeah, and Dune just came out this week here in the United States. So
yeah, so we're looking at that kind of okay.
let's see what's.
Yeah. So I gotta look at the numbers to see if it's actually going to be plausible. Otherwise, this is a one and done, and we're never going to see an ending for it.
Domestic, it looks.
Is it still on HBO?
Yeah, it'll still be on HBO. It'll be on HBO for, I think, 30 days.
Weird, they still don't have the domestic up.
No, they won't, because technically it's supposed to come out on the 22nd.
Well, it's already out in the theaters in here.
Yeah, no, it's selected areas.
Okay, so they're not going then. Okay, well, that sucks. Like, that's weird because we have a small piss hole. We have 2 piss hole wall movie theaters that like have maybe 10 small areas, seating areas, each of them, and they've been viewing it for a couple weeks now, which is weird because I thought they would have gone with the bigger theaters.
No, they have no. They'll have no numbers for a while.
Okay. Yeah, but like you said, they made their money back.
They made their money worldwide, so they're pretty close to. They've got up to as close as they can for the actual budget itself. Now it's just the rest of the domestic. They haven't even. I don't know if they'll be opening up. I know they're supposed to be opening up. I think they're supposed to be opening up in the Chinese market. So that's going to add on as well, hopefully. But yeah,
This
right
is a
now,
weird release. Then
yes, it is. It is a steady release. They're taking their time because the main focus was Russia. Then France got a hold of it, and they're off the bar. So the Russians and the French love this movie. Germany is kind of third within the tail. I know it was region in Spain, Italy, and Taiwan. I think it also showed up in the Finnish area, so Netherlands and Denmark, possibly Sweden. Can't remember, but yeah, they've been slowly opening this thing up. It's only made, from what I can see, for the Hong Kong market, total of maybe 3 million. Has nothing in the Australian market as of yet. So yeah, they're taking their time. They're literally taking their time on this one, which is good because with the new coof kind of pandemic thing that's happening, we're looking at a whole new way of structuring movies, because you have the streaming services that have to coincide with the releases and that, and it's questionable whether they're going to be simultaneous or 90 days after. And that, again, that's the weird one is, for example, the Candyman, which was supposed to be released 60 days after, stuck around a bit longer because of a certain contingency. If it made over 50 million, then it would delay on its streaming release, which happened. It did delay it by 30 extra days. So there's that, because it was doing very well in the theater. So that's what we're looking at now going forward for this new market of movies. So I don't know. It is what it is. The final season of Game of Thrones, yes, it is craptacular.
Yeah, that's what I'm mostly worried about, is everything turning into Game of Thrones. Actually, turns out they would have had, they were going to go to season 10, or they could have. They tried to blame HBO for
HBO was like, we love this. Keep going. Take your time.
Yeah,
but they wanted another contract. So
they were helping to have that Disney contract because they were offered Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. That's what they wanted out of their current contract to get into a better contract.
Well, actually, it was more complicated than that, actually. But no, it was actually funny. So they tried to blame HBO. HBO made a statement saying, no, we offered them 2 more seasons, and they refused. Which is insane to me. Like, how much? Like, I don't understand, but whatever. And they did it actually for if I remember correctly, it was actually for a Netflix show initially, and then they fucked over. They actually had already signed the deal with Netflix, then fucked them over for Disney. So, and it's just like, dude, you guys are just fucking money chasers. Like, come on, like, fuck you, right?
Well, because even the principal creator, Martin, who was like going, guys, you could take your time on this. I mean, you've got a lot of material before I even get to finalize my next book, and we're waiting on that one. That's going to be. I don't think it's ever going to come out. I'll be surprised if he actually does bring it out.
Well, he did announce that he's got a person on retainer if he dies. So
it's good to know.
So
probably the guy who is actually
we're probably going to get the guy that's going to finish off his book.
But no, he actually, I can't remember the guy's name at all, but the guy, he's been talking to one guy. This guy knows every single thing about Game of Thrones intimately, right? And has access to all the notes and everything. So he said that
because I know the 2 principal writers for Game of Thrones, they were given kind of the behind the scenes look of Martin's world, and they were, taken aback a bit on how in depth this guy was going, and so yeah, they knew exactly what the end game was supposed to be.
Wasn't what the HBO came up with.
Right.
No, the problem is it's like I said, it was a rush on their end. I'm like going, well, you could have taken your time on creating the Daenerys fall from grace. But it was there from the beginning. It wasn't very
subtle.
Actually, so
there was no
hold on. They did well briefly. It was there from the beginning. The problem was whenever they got to season 8, it was like somehow she went from almost crazy to completely crazy in 2 episodes.
Yes.
That hope crazy insane. Yes.
You know, and
possibility
also
going forward, yes.
I have a really hot take. This is actually a funny one. This is great. All right. I disagree, and I don't know if this was in the books or not because, well, the books aren't written yet. But like, why does it matter anymore? Like, why did John decide not to fuck his aunt? Right? Why does it matter? The boat's already sailed. Just
pretty much
keep tagging it. Who cares? Like there was no real. Like I know it sounds fucked up, but on the other side of the coin, like, isn't she sterile? Like, I don't think she could even have kids anyway.
Yeah,
so what?
Where it was kind of like I said, there was just a lot of confuddled moments, and again, that's when you have open plot holes.
I think they should have made her pregnant, and then he killed her.
Right.
Because that would have made it fucking even more insane, you know?
Yes. Right? But fanboys justify it with, well, in his culture he grew up in, like you know, that kind of behavior is abhorrent. And it's like, yeah, but he already did it. Like,
he's
so
also supposed to be a bastard born. He finds out that he's like, huh?
But so, you know, I can understand the personal conflict, but I think ultimately it would have made more sense for him just to give into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, but also keep in mind he also is supposed to be dead and resurrected, according to the TV series.
Actually, like I hope that they maintain that in the book, or I hope it's also less predictable than in the show, because in the show I knew that was coming. As soon as the redhead came into that, I'm like, he's gonna die. Like, that was my first thought, and I had this conversation actually with my sister. Or not that he's gonna die, but he's gonna be brought back, is what I was telling her whenever because the redhead already did this.
Yes, she's done it before.
So it was kind of like that was kind of like a foreshadowing to build up. Like, to me, Game of Thrones was great up until season 6, and then after season 6 started, it started going downhill fast. And
I agree.
And the thing is like, and to be fair, like, season 6 itself is okay. It's not, and if it's, I have my issues with it, but overall it's an okay season. Season 7 was worse, and then season 8 was just, holy fuck, what did I just watch?
Yes.
Yeah. I loved the whenever the White Walkers finally showed up. I loved that. And then they fucked up so much about it. Like, how come we never got the big duel they were building up to this whole time? Like, I'm sorry, you can't spend multiple seasons building up to a duel between 2 major characters and then just kill it off by some random kid jumping out of a tree. All right?
Pretty much.
Like, that was
screaming, by the way.
Huh?
Screaming, yes.
Yeah,
silent assassin screaming.
Right. It was insanely stupid. There was no reason to believe whatsoever that she would ever. There was no foreshadowing, nothing leading up to that. In fact, her even doing it doesn't make sense for her character, like her being that brave at all. Right.
Nope.
So like, there's nothing in that made any sense. And also, the part that bothers me about that too is, really, Jon Snow was just stuck there because there was a zombie dragon. Like, he didn't do shit. He was just a bitch. Like, just sat there, did nothing. Like, I don't know,
like a bitch.
Yeah, like, it just like everything about that scene bothered me. And then they just kill off all the White Walkers in one episode, and it's all over by basically copying South Park.
Yes.
And Yeah. And I'm just like,
and my God, you killed Kenny.
but they even fucked off, or they fucked up like the thing that was established early on. Like, why is killing him necessarily going to kill all of them? Wouldn't that just kill
their leadership?
The leadership, or maybe just the ones that he personally converted. I don't know. Like, that's because that was kind of the hint by killing off some of the leadership, as it killed off the ones they converted or whatever to make them white, so like, if that's what you're hinting at, well, this guy didn't personally convert fucking every single one of them, so like it was just so much about that one episode that bugged me. And also there was so much lore of the White Walkers we could have gotten into that I knew about, that I would have loved to see on screen.
But at least a couple of seasons worth right there, because the lore on that one is impressive.
Let's put it this way. There were better fucking fan fictions that were absolutely fucking horrible that were better than the way they fucking ended. That's sad.
There was a whole YouTube channel that I watched. It's just based on Game of Thrones and nothing else.
Well, then the reason they said they fired him from the Disney one is absolutely like, they said we don't really know anything about making movies. That's not why you fired. They saw fucking Game of Thrones the last year, and they were like, "Oh no, we ain't doing this shit again."
Yeah, like no, it's just like, the thing is that bothers me is I was one of these people. A lot of people were like, "Wow, these guys are like doing a really good job. They're like, this is actually great. Like, and they should keep it up." Turns out they only cared up until they got big paychecks, and then they just wanted out. I don't understand.
HBO also offered them another, hey, if you don't want to finish it, we'll give you a year off so you can start the Star Wars thing and then come back for 2 years and then start the next Star Wars movie.
Like I think they and that's the thing. Like, they could have taken a break. People would have waited for a better, conclusion. And the thing is too, like as Rogue said, they had access to everything.
Yes.
Like, there's no excuse. Like, the thing is too, is like, and then, but I know that they kicked George to the curb, or not George, Martin. They kicked Martin to the curb.
I honestly think,
actually, you're right, George, because that's basically his first name, George Martin, but there's double R's in there. Yes, you got it right.
I think the HBO series broke him. Because that's why he's like that, that they
he's behind the scenes trying to piece it back together.
Yeah,
that's where his main focus is at the moment, because the next one that they're supposed to be bringing out is supposed to be following the Targaryens. It's like a prequel.
Yeah, it's I want to see it because Matt Smith's playing the lead bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he plays a hell of a good guy or a bad guy, doesn't matter. But I just have a feeling that he's going to be the only good thing about the show.
Well, the one that they had, because they had two of them. There was one that's going to be kind of mixed focused, and the other one's going to be solidly female focused. The woke version. The woke version failed. It did not appeal to anybody, so they are been focusing on the Matt Smith one.
Yeah, so and I think that will be great, but the problem is I just have a feeling they're going to fuck it up.
No, that's why they're taking their sweet-ass time on this one. HBO knows it's going to be successful. They just have to make sure it's as successful as the first first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, because after you get past season 4, it kind of flounders.
Yeah,
and then flops by season 8.
No, I thought season 5 was pretty good. I actually hated season 4. When I first watched the show, I watched season 4 and found it boring.
Well, when you get to season 4, you pretty much end of all of the books. By season 5, it's a kind of like a retell of a couple of books
they skipped,
and there's a lot of things that they skip, and then it's now from that point on director's choice on what they were going to for the writings and that. So it was kind of weird.
But I will agree with you on the or kind of the, or I don't know if you said this, I don't remember, but I will say I think season 3 was the peak of the show. And then that was when it got to the mountaintop. Like that, the Red Wedding was done so incredibly perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is like it blew my mind when I watched it. Like I was
Well-
like, holy fuck, they went there. Like
Mhm.
holy shit. Like,
Yeah, but they left things out like the mother coming back to life as a dead corpse.
Yeah,
essentially.
that's what I
And
said. That by the time you get to about season 4,
and,
you
they
had a lot of
skipped
different.
so
You
many
skipped
good
through a lot of
things.
different things.
They
I thought
just
she was a specter, but
something.
No.
We're not quite sure what she was, but
See, the problem is they really don't go far in details on that one. I mean, in the book they do a bit more, but in the series set, they just kind of leave that on the cutting room floor.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm okay with them cutting that part. To be honest, I think like there are things in the show like that I understand they cut, like leaving her like actually I wouldn't have even put that in the book. To be 100% honest, I would have cut that.
Well,
from the book
there's
too,
a reason of why the gray lady's in the book. There's an actual reason of why.
Yeah, I know why. It's just I like finality. I
get it.
I hate the Tolkien, because that's kind of what Tolkien did a little bit, not ghosts necessarily or zombies, but never really killing off a main character. Like we were supposed to have this big epic death. It should stay at death, and whenever you start doing that kind of shit, I start like having issues.
well, technically she still was dead, so
right, but I mean, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna say that Martin did a bad job with it either, so I'm not gonna go that far. Like
No,
so,
he tried to give the death a degree of finality for one, and a bit of meaning. Whether it be a political meaning or because again, we do have the zombies that are being resurrected, so that kind
the
of
precedent was set.
Yeah. So it's like he's got to justify in a few different things when you get further into the magical tropes, because this is supposed to be a land that really doesn't see magic that often, and now it's being introduced into an Eastern world that has magic on a constant.
And don't get me wrong, I will say though, having a character that is dead that's being somewhat followed is something that doesn't that isn't that. Like you have all the humans that are followed, right? So why not have a dead people are supposed to be an important and integral part to the whole story. So, I guess having one that you're sort of following around makes sense, so you get some context of what that'd be like for them. But I guess,
It's a reason of why when you look at the book, you don't get. You get a bit of glimpse on the White Walker. So there's the uncle that is technically dead, but he's still walking around as a White Walker, and he's able to. In some cases, it feels like shit change.
Well, it was the Snows were. It's possible that the Snows were originally the original White Walkers.
No, not the Snows. You mean the Starks?
The Starks.
Yes, the Starks. The Starks. Sorry,
yeah, they have lineage to the original, the first
the
White Walker.
Which is
White
a
Walkers.
badass plot point. Like honestly, like that. Like, that's one thing I love the lore of the White Walker. It's like my favorite part of Game of Thrones.
They're kind of protected from it in a sense. Like he's still, but the reason he's still doing this is somewhat to do with his family, and he's still protecting that lineage somehow by doing this.
And that's kind of why I liked a lot of the actual book writing aspect, because there's a huge amount of details that have been omitted in the actual TV series. Series, for what it was serviceable. It just went too quickly, because by the time I got to episode 3, I'm like going, I'm almost finished the entire first 4 books. How did they get there? They still have a lot of books that they could have fulfilled on.
Oh yeah, I mean they could have got with the first 2 books. They could have gone 8 seasons easy.
But they straight up admitted before season 8 even came out that they had already thrown away a lot of Martin's notes.
That's why I said, well, you guys fucked up.
And also one of the big things that I hated actually in the show, and I am actually in the minority here for some stupid reason. What they did to Littlefinger, I thought was fucking gross.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like whenever he died and he just went from 0 to complete coward and somehow got fooled by some idiot naive kid, I'm just like
Yeah, I agree. Littlefinger's like death was so fucking insignificant because I was waiting for him to get like, oh no, we're just gonna slit his throat. I'm like, that's it.
Well,
This fucker fucked everybody over so bad. And this is he just dies so pathetically and not. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed because I wanted him to suffer.
Well, not just that. I wanted him to be bested by somebody with a brain. Right?
I wanted him to be the bested by the eunuch guy.
Yes,
because he was, then the eunuch guy dies. So I was like, really? The characters you wanted to have an epic death, not because they were that cool or they were just that horrible, had the most pathetic deaths. Even like the last death of what's her name was pathetic. There was no like, you knew what was coming. You could tell what was coming. There was no like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. There was like, oh yeah, we see where this is going.
But also, it was funny when they sent John to the wall, and I'm just like, but why? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why did you give the cripple the fucking make him king? It doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, maybe there's a way you can make it make sense, right, in a book, but in the show, it made no sense. It came off random and like
they basically said that he couldn't have any errors, and they didn't want it to be an error.
Well, we also are kind of borrowing heavily from Bran the Builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just the whole thing, and the other thing is too that they made Bran come off as a fucking like pretentious cunt.
Yeah,
you know, like I always saw it coming anyway. And it's like, then why did you bother with even half of the fucking shit you've said this all the way up to this point? Like what? Like that's the thing that bothered me the most is that Bran, like at the end, he's just like, oh, I always knew I'd be king. Oh yeah, well fuck you, right? Like that was like my mentality, and also like it would have been cool though. If it wasn't the eunuch that bested Littlefinger, if it was Bran versus Littlefinger, because Littlefinger just couldn't handle something, right? They hinted at that and then threw it away, you know? Yeah. And so like the thing is though, is like, but Bran becoming king was stupid. And actually the reason why the directors did that is because they thought that Jon becoming king would be too predictable. Just like they thought that Jon having a duel with the Night King was too predictable. And so they wanted to subvert the expectation. And I'm like, that's not.
Actually, no. My actually.
Why at that point? Why bring
no. My actual thought for the actual duel, I was actually hoping for Daenerys to go against the White Walker because that is the epitome of fire and ice.
Yeah.
Just because Jon is a Targaryen, he knows fuck all about what it means. And Daenerys is the only one that can actually see that two insane individuals going against head to head. I could care less whether Jon would have gotten the throne or not. Realistically, the way how they wrote him, he would have never have taken the throne.
What was the point of bringing him back to life when he basically did dick all except kill?
I think he should have become king of the North at the very least, which was the thing they were really heavily hitting on.
Yeah, I could see him taking that, being king of the North. But if anything, I would have seen what was this Tyrion taking up the king for the Lannisters group.
Well, the reason
being the last Lannister,
that was the woke part. That was the woke part.
I would have seen Tyrion being more of it than anything else because he would have been the last Lannister.
Tyrion the Small.
Yeah.
But bigger cock,
Or what would have been even better than that is if they would have had Bran and Tyrion, like, co-kingmanship would have been fine too.
I know they eventually do the committee thing, but still, like I said, I would have rather seen that than whatever they thought that the fans were going for, because realistically, most of the fans, if you look at the hardcores, they were like kind of really focusing on the fact that Tyrion is pretty smart within this series, and he cuts himself out near to the end anyways, and he looked like he was going to be gaining the throne.
Yeah, well, not only that, like, I'm going to make a really hot take. The fans of the show, nobody cared about Bran.
Yeah.
Right? No one cared about Bran.
When they gave Bran, we were like, why?
Yeah,
I'd have rather seen Rickon get
They should have given it to the water bottle on set. I mean, honestly, at that point,
no. That's like the youngest dead brother put him on the throne. Call it a day.
Or the Starbucks cup. One of the two.
Yeah,
or
or the digital watch, maybe. I don't know. I should have won too.
Yeah, but it's just like, and what was dumb too, the wall, like putting him back on the wall also made no sense for one other reason. It's no longer
a wall.
fucking necessary.
Yeah.
It's no longer a wall, and it's no longer necessary. Like what's the point in going back to the wall when there's no White Walkers to defend against?
To defend from, yeah.
Well, there's no wall either because remember the wall was fucking torn down.
Yeah,
it was destroyed.
The wall was which makes no sense either because the wall was supposed to be protected against dark magic or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and then immediately gets taken down by dark magic, and I'm like,
by a single fucking dragon.
Point.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was Well, yeah, it makes no sense. That was dark magic.
I had this argument with my sister, and you know what she said? It was great because I'm like, she said, well, you know, it was magic, and I said, you know what? You'd make a great Hollywood director.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, though. That's probably what their thought process was too. God, what was it? I was thinking. Look! The one thing I was really pissed off about is they never explained the donkey in the brothel joke. They never. I was like, I once brought a donkey into a brothel, and everybody just shuts up and wants to hear the story. But then they cut out there, and I'm like, you know what?
It's like
Fuck
the
you.
three. It's like the three seashells.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to explain it. It's like, no, that's something you got to fucking explain because everybody wants to hear that. And the problem is it's probably so dirty they couldn't tell it. But hey.
I mean, I don't know. They had incest in the show, so I mean,
at that point, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody was like, when they started hinting like that they were having a kind of relationship before the relationship happened, I was kind of like, oh, this is. Really? Come on, guys. There's so much incest in this show right now. Do we really need more of this fucking point?
So this is the whole point, of medieval kind of thing is to showcase shit that we consider abhorrent today. That's like half the point. And the fact that the show went out of its way to moral fag with like modern sentiment and thrust that into a character they brought back from the dead really annoyed the shit out of me.
Oh yeah. It's like I said again, what was the point of bringing Jon Snow back if you're just gonna
and also here's a lovely take. Okay, if that was my aunt and I knew she couldn't have kids, yeah, I'd be tapping it if I could. I don't even care.
Well, realistically, the funny thing is, when it comes down to it, John was never raised with her as an aunt anyways. He finds out after the fact that technically they're related. That's it.
Yeah, I've heard of stranger stories, so yeah.
But there's no inbreeding involved, so who cares?
They're outside of the gene pool, unfortunately.
Yeah. Honestly, there's enough degrees of separation there, though, really, that it's actually fine because technically his aunt was half to the throne anyways from her brother anyways, I think, because she had another mother and he did too.
She had a different mother, same father, same thing with the
I'm not trying to justify this. I'm not trying to justify this. I'm just saying there was enough separation.
They were far out of they were so far out of the actual gene pool that it could have been accepted.
It could be seen as like a third or fifth cousin, which is acceptable even in today's society, honestly, because that is enough degrees of separation from the bloodline to where most Hawaiians are separated only by 5 degrees of lineage.
Yeah.
And they make sure that because it's an island for one, and
I mean, and also, by the way, it's not anywhere near as abhorrent as the brother and sister thing. So,
the twins. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like that. That was actually gross. Though I will say, my favorite scene of the show is actually the rape scene after the funeral. Hands down.
The funny part?
I saw that and said based.
Yeah. You know what the first part of the incest scene is hilarious about the first part of the scene is hilarious when they did that scene before when they didn't find out about that it was incest until like after they went to a question booth after the first. So how did you feel about doing the incest scene? And they're like, what? Oh yeah, they're related. And they didn't. They said they just thought they had the same last names or something because it was very common back then. Well, it said they had no clue. The actors had no clue, and they were like, "Oh my god, our careers are over." It made their fucking careers. It made their fucking careers.
But I thought it was funny because I was watching because my sister and I were watching the show, and it was funny because and my fiance at the time. And so the three of us were watching, and the what's his face was dead, and he was in the casket in the room, and then it just goes from 0 to rape, and then I say based, and then they call me an asshole. Like, and then they're like, that guy's a piece of shit. He raped his sister on the fucking casket of his dead son. And I'm like, nobody fucking liked his son, including him. Who cares?
Yeah, that's basically what they were showing at that point. And you really couldn't call it rape because she never really said.
She really liked him.
She slapped him, and that was about it. And it was kind of more like rough sex than it was rape.
Right.
Look, the two of them like to fuck each other regardless of the situation. She's the one that came on to him.
Yeah, I know. So basically, I mean, she did, and then it was really fucked up. But I mean, she even and they explained it, and this was out of the book too. They explained how she grabbed the dwarf's penis when he was a baby, and Tyrion. I can't remember his name. Tyrion. And twisted and was about ready to pull it off, and they said, "No, stop! Why would you do that?" So she already had it interested in the inside of her family, grabbing the penises of her family members already. So this is already a fucked up chick. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, though, is what I hated about the show is whenever he just dropped, like, this whole season 8 was basically Star Wars Episode 8, but Game of Thrones, because every single storyline that they had, they reverted on. Like, even that plot point where the brother's like, yeah, fuck her, she's a cunt, and then just last second, like, oh fuck, I
have to go over there to save her. Yeah, no, I thought
like I said, they didn't build it up enough to save her or anybody,
or even entice to want to save her
or kill people. It just went from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, many a times, probably quicker than that, honestly, but still. Like I said, I watched the last season, and I quit halfway through, and then just watched the last episode because I just got tired of all this like shit just popping up out of nowhere. I was just getting so sick of it that it just like. And then John's like, "Oh, we're going to subvert expectations by bringing John back to life, but doing absolutely fucking dick all with him." I mean, you could have literally replaced him with any other character, and that would have been fine. And that was it. That was my whole peeve moment. Still there?
Yeah.
Okay,
we're still here.
Really quiet.
No, but Sparky's dead.
Probably. We probably bore him to death.
He goes into his own little world.
I'm just eating.
Okay. Yeah. But like I said, you could have replaced him with any character, and it wouldn't have mattered. He was just there because he was the last Snow, essentially male Snow, or male not Snow, but
Stark.
Stark, yeah. Yeah, that's how much I care about this show. I stopped caring so much. I just forgot all of it. I tried to forget all of it.
Bran like felt like what he should have been, which was just a plot device. And the fact that he came up later, like, don't get me wrong, Max von Sydow being in the show was great. That shocked me, but the guy that played the crow or whatever, or Raven. But the thing is, though, is like, God, there's so much wrong with that. And Bran just like dragged everyone down. And it's just like, look, after a point, it's like, when do we leave this crippled faggot to his fate? Fuck him. Like
you know who had the most meaningful death in the entire series? Hodor. Yeah, I was going to say Hodor.
Yeah. Hodor. And even that Bran fucked him up. If you look at it, if it wasn't for Bran getting involved in shit, Hodor would have been fine.
Yeah, exactly. He would have grown up a normal boy and been fine, and maybe a knight or something, because he was a big guy. He might have been someone that could have gone against the Mountain, and that would have been fucking awesome. I would have, what I would have loved to have seen? Hodor not taking on the Mountain and fucking them all up, because they're equal in strength.
Yes.
And that would have been fucking fascinating.
Well, and the thing is too, I don't like time travel as a plot device at all. And that was something about the show. I thought they did an okay job of showing it, but it was also just annoying. I was just like, come on. Like, and I know that Martin fucking did that too. I just don't like time travel in it. Like, it's annoying. I think it did a good job
For his version of time travel, at least again, he tries to justify it.
Quantum leaping kind of thing.
Quantum leap is great, but no, like, so the thing is, I thought it was great for showing lore.
Yeah.
And it should stop there. And it should stop there. Like, he just goes back, he looks at the past, and then can't affect it, and boom. There we go.
Yeah.
Problem solved. But no, apparently he can fuck up Hodor, and I'm just like, fuck, man, come on, stop it. Stop it. Like, that's the thing that I hated. It's just like,
well, I mean, the thing is, he said there was hinted you can't change time unless you really fuck up. And that's kind of what Bren did. He really fucked up because he was trying to prevent something that ended up, going completely wrong. And that's how
hold
Hodor...
the door.
Hold the door. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it worked for me for a minute. It actually, okay, that makes sense. Like, that's why we don't fuck around with time. And that would have been his big... But instead, they kept on going with it for a little bit, and then it looked like they were going to... And then they realized their mistake, and they fixed it, but it was too late. The damage was done.
You could actually go out of your way to make, because of how much they fucked it up. You could make the argument that season 8 wasn't bad. It's just that Bran fucked up time.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And you could just say that Bran was like manipulating time the entire thing, and that's why season 8 was rushed, right? Like it's just like. The problem with the time travel thing in the show is that it opened up way too many fucking plot holes and issues, and the fact that Bran, I guess, knew everything means he could manipulate anything, and so it's like, now what did he manipulate exactly? It brings up a whole series of questions, and if he manipulated all of this, then he's just a fucking absolute piece of trash, and he's worse than fucking Littlefinger.
Yeah, no, because he pretty much orchestrated so that he take over the throne.
Yeah, and this is why there's literally fan theories basically making Bran out to be the biggest villain of the series, because the show.
I can see that.
Well, look, I mean, the kid who's acting for Bran, he does come off as a complete villain. You look at him.
Yep.
Yeah, he does actually. Yeah, it works.
Like, he reminds me of Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes. That works for me.
Yeah, but I remember like how excited, like I actually went out of my way to pay for the HBO fucking thing, right? And I was watching season 8, and I was all like hyped and everything, and I turn on episode 1 of season 8, and I was like, okay. Whatever. And then episode 2 comes up, because like one thing I thought I had hoped for it was they said every episode was really long, like a movie, and I was like, okay, well,
it was a lie.
If that's the case, like, actually they did have, like, I think 4 of the episodes were actually 4 of the episodes were really long. Like they were like an hour and a half or whatever, which 90 minutes is about the runtime of a film.
Yes.
And so, like, I was like, okay, well, if they made them the longer episodes, then I can understand why. Like, I can see the compensation there, and so they might be able to pull it off. Like, and in a way, I was lying to myself, I guess. And so I watched the episode 1 and thought it was boring. Episode 2 comes up, and it was amazingly well done until near the end of the episode, where it just got weird. And then they brought in the random chick from the tree, and her even being there actually just doesn't make any fucking sense. All right, like, there's so much wrong with that whole thing that just bothers the shit out of me. And I had massive arguments with my sister over it, because, well, it was surprising and I didn't see it coming. And I'm like, yeah, neither did I see the Death Star coming to wipe out all the dragons at the end of episode fucking 6. Right, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like subverting expectations is fucking stupid, because it doesn't make any sense. It's too left field. There's very few good ways to pull it off, and saying it's surprising is dumb. Like, yeah, was it surprising? Yeah, in so much as it kind of ruined everything. So and I really wanted that duel. Like, so fucking bad. Like, you have no idea how much I wanted that Jon Stark versus the Night King duel. Like, I wanted Ice Maul Ice Darth Maul to fight Jon Snow that doesn't know anything. That's all I wanted the entire fucking for like 4 seasons. That's all I wanted, and I didn't get it. And
that's why when Arya when they had that whole when I watched that episode and I saw that, I just quit watching the rest. I was like, I'll just watch the last episode and that's it because I'm tired of converting time into this.
Yeah,
I watched the last episode and that was it. That wasn't even a huger disappointment. I was just like, oh my fucking god, I didn't think it could get any worse.
Yeah, like what I usually use to as a comparison is like, imagine if you have episode 4 of Star Wars exactly the same. Episode 5 happens, and they talk about having the duel, and then it never happens because Luke just they're talking, and then fucking Han Solo shows up and just shoots Vader. Okay, with the Millennium Falcon, and that's and I'm just sitting there like you just robbed me of my daddy son time. All right, like and that's the thing like that I hated about that. It's just like you don't build up to this thing and then take it from me, right? That's what it's what everybody want. There is not a single person that I can think of that didn't want that duel to happen. And the worst part is like, you could have had her try to kill him. That was fine. That would be fine. Like an unexpected, like she comes out of nowhere, tries to kill him and fails utterly.
Well, that would have been fine. It would have been for me the epitome of right there, fire and ice. It's like those are the two dichotomies that this book is trying to base itself off of. And even though these directors have taken over and decided to go in a different direction, it would have been nice for them to use that as a backdrop and then go into a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that was confusing, I don't think, didn't she use she used like the Valerian dagger, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So like what I thought of, because I had this argument with somebody, was like, this is my idea for how the scene should have played out. All right. The dragon gets distracted somehow, or what's his face kills it somehow, or whatever. I don't fucking know. And he runs up to go kill the Night King or whatever. And right as that happens, he sees his sister like jump out and attack and completely fucking fail. And that motivates him more, like, oh my God, I gotta save her, right? Kind of thing. Because like, and then so he rushes in like an idiot, and they let him through because even the White Walkers want to see this, right? Which and so he rushes in to attack him, and he actually like basically it becomes even. He almost loses, and then his sister throws him the dagger last second, and he takes him out. That would have been so much better in every way. Because the sister would still be important to the scene.
Yes.
All I have to say to that is, how dare you want good things?
Right?
True, right?
She still would have been important to the scene, right? It wouldn't have in any way defeminized the scene, right?
No.
And at the same time, everybody gets what they wanted.
Not only did you just create a scene that shares equal footing for both male and female. How dare you?
Yeah, again, how dare you want something good?
how dare you do something like that? But that is pretty much what a small contingent, because again, though you're part of that minority group, would have loved to have seen that. Even myself, because again, there were certain aspects I kind of went, well, they could have used these characters a bit better. I mean, you had a lead up for some of the quote unquote enemies joining forces for the first time ever. You had the broken ocean-born prince to go back to the Starks. It was almost like a complete circle, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it failed to the completion, because I'm like, where is the rest of the circle? This full motion, because I wanted to see the other two, the other Stark girl get involved in somehow. It would have been nice that this would have been a huge, end game, that it was actually the Starks collectively that destroyed the Night King.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like the other thing I thought of is like you could have even made the opening to that scene more creepy, where like he runs toward through the door to go attack, right? And right whenever he fucking gets there, like maybe he sees his sister running, like in the hopping in the trees or some shit, and yells no or something, or doesn't say anything and runs faster. And then when he gets there, it's right after she made her failed attack. And then but he gets there and he sees the army of the small army that's there in that area, and the Night King about to kill his sister, and he stops to his attempt to kill her, turns around, looks at Jon Snow, then all the other fucking White Walkers look at Jon Snow, and then they just move out of his way.
Well,
and let him through to attack the Night
That's
King.
better storytelling.
But there you want a story where the Night King just doesn't let her drop her knife into her other hand and stab her after catching her in midair like it was no fucking problem and moving like quick as fucking wind, and then but dropping a dagger that would actually take about 2 or 3 seconds to drop into her hand, and then stab another 2 or 3 seconds to stab him, to get the force to stab him.
My idea is that he just stabs her in the fucking shoulder midair.
That would have been funny. That he takes his hand and catches, and then takes her. No, what should have happened? He catches her. She drops the knife. He catches the knife and then stabs her in the head with the fucking knife.
Well,
that would have been fucking awesome.
No, I don't want to kill her, but my idea is
I wanted to kill the entire cast. I wanted to kill the entire cast.
No, I understand you wanted to kill the entire cast. I kind of first
at that point,
the way how I kind of foreseen it. Again, it comes back down to kind of like the circle of motion, where you explain the reason of why the Starks are where they are. They've never ventured towards claiming the royalty. They've been put in charge of the Wall for a reason.
Yeah.
And
also, I want to mention this real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just remembered to point out something. There is no way she knew the Valyrian dagger would have killed anything.
Yes.
That's the part that bugs me the most about that whole part anyway. Like her with the dagger. Why didn't she use needle? Right? Like there's no reason for her to believe that dagger would have taken out a White Walker.
There was a point. She did get it explained to her why it kills White Walkers, because she came in while no, they did, because I remember. I know what your part you're talking about, because I actually watched it. This was the part where they're making the weapons. She says, "What's all this for? All the glass for?" He said, "It's to make weapons because they're the only thing that can kill walkers and the dead." And she was "Oh!" And then she picked up the dagger.
Well, the glass, not the Valyrian steel. Like she didn't.
Oh well, the Valyrian steel.
Yeah. The dagger was Valyrian steel. Nobody told her that Valyrian steel would kill a White Walker.
Yeah, because that would have been much more interesting.
Well, Valyrian steel is just the glass as well. It's mixed.
And that's again, it was very interesting that Needle was a part of the entire conversation. But again, it was so loosely put together to a point where you forget moments. And you only remember the weird moment of having this little girl being caught in midair by this super behemoth that is the White King. And he could just instantly snapped her neck. Yet he doesn't.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, what I thought of was like, and by the way, was Needle Valyrian? I don't think it was it?
No, Needle was part of the Valyrian steel family, yes.
Oh, was? Okay, well, that's even better. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like what could have been done is that she had Needle and was trying to or not Needle or actually, to take that back, would have been better if she had the dagger, right? She came at the guy with the dagger and the guy grabbed her by the neck, and she drops the dagger as a result of that and is thrown away, right? Cast aside, and he goes to and then right when Jon shows up, he stabs her in the fucking shoulder or something, or I don't know, or is about to, and ultimately Jon's sword gets broke. And this would have been to seal the whole story up. Okay, this to seal the whole arc. She hands him Needle. There you go. Like you just brought it full circle to season 1.
That would have been great, because they fucked it up. They had this potential of doing a complete circle, so you understand the reasons why the Snows are what they're supposed to be doing there. You had the confrontation between Daenerys and the White King, the White Walker. That would have been great to see, even though it would have been a fail on Daenerys' end. Because again, she is going mad. You could have tapped into that a bit more of her losing her control over her dragons because of her madness.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been fine. Like I said, there was just so many different aspects that could have went to, but no, you ended up with what we had for the end game. Which,
Yeah, and like it would like I don't know, like it's just that it bothers me because I could rewrite that whole scene better,
Mhm.
and I shouldn't have to, right? And bear in
Like I
mind,
said, there are fan fictions that were better than a lot of that shit.
right? And I
the
write.
thing is, the main
and
creator probably is going to end it better than
And
we
like
know.
even like the gay fan fiction, like the truly gay, where all the guys were fucking each other, were better than that. Probably.
Right, but like I write, and this is like one of the things I loved about Game of Thrones is that like whenever you learn writing, right, you learn about a lot of the archetypes people use. You learn about like the mechanisms like foreshadowing and stuff like that, and things become predictable very quickly. It ruins actually a lot of things for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what ultimately happens is movie magic goes away. So when I started watching Game of Thrones, they were able to write things and me never see it coming. Like for example, the biggest one, like season 1 impressed the shit out of me. I did not believe they were going to kill Ned Stark. They kept saying over and over and over and over, like slamming it into your skull, Ned Stark is going to die. And usually when you watch films or read books, that is usually your clue that he's not going to die, right? But or the whatever character, right? But in this, like, no, they killed him, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, here's
Wow.
It was
Like, you know, like,
questionable in the books whether or not he was even dead, though. He was just in prison for a very long time because they
No,
said
there's a reason of why. Because the insane boy king that was on the throne wanted to prove that he was king, and so he had Ned Stark executed for a reason.
Yeah. But they the whole time and I didn't read the book, but the show made me read
Yeah.
the book. You know, like so when I watched season 1, I was completely blown away when they killed Ned Stark off because like even though they told me they were going to, which means it's good storytelling because it's not subverting expectations. It's literally subverting the contemporary writing, which
Yes.
is which is actually mind-boggling when I watch the show, and I love the Ned Stark character too.
Yeah,
That's
for
my
me, I
favorite
knew it was.
character.
I knew he was going to be a done deal for first season because of the principal actor that they used. Sean Bean dies in just about every show that he's been in.
That's
So I'm
true.
like going,
And
okay, he's going to die, but how is he going to die? I wonder.
right. Yeah, but the thing was is that like that bothered me. It was or not didn't bother me, but I loved about it was it blew my mind. I'm like, oh my god, these guys
No,
could like
yeah.
the guy could write. Like this is good writing, and so like my brain was like I was blown away. And then the show progresses and they get into the Red Wedding, and I never saw that coming, even though like I thought they were going to do something like that, but I never thought they were actually going to do it.
Yeah, I know, because it all leads into it, and you kind of get that belief that these things are not going to be put into play because of the way how the simple story writing is. But something about Martin, he always subverts that expectation. He kind of goes, yeah, no, this is good. This is where I'm going to go with it. Even though I'm going to browbeat it into the people to make them believe that it's going to go to completely this way, I'm going to go in a completely different direction, which hooks you even more because you kind of go, who else is he planning to kill?
Right. And so like whenever but that's the thing that I loved about it. So like I admire good storytelling, like, and so you can imagine the level of disappointment that I felt whenever season 8 finally hit. Well, season 7 and 8. Season 7 was pretty disappointing. And so I was hoping, like really had my fingers crossed for 8. And because I thought season 7, like this was my optimism speaking. All right, they rushed season 7 because they wanted to really, really rush into getting us to season 8 because season 8's going to be the shit. And it's turned out it was the shit without the.
Yeah.
It was
So-
just a shit.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
piece of shit.
Yeah, like,
Oh.
and so and that hurt me, like, deep in my brain. I was just, like, very emotionally upset by season 8, and I know a lot of people felt that way, and a lot of people couldn't identify, like, why it is they hated it. They just didn't like it, and like, no, I can sit here and just pinpoint every single tiny little problem I have with that show. I could make a whole live stream just dissecting everything wrong with season 8.
Oh, there are people who've made entire careers on YouTube off of just dissecting
Well, there's people that make careers off of just dissecting cinema in general, but
Yeah.
realistically, even if we circle back to a different book franchise altogether, again, Dune, with the newest one that they're throwing out in the cinematic world, yes, it has the same kind of flaws when it comes down to taking a book and making it cinematic. But unfortunately, there's certain aspect of it that you kind of overlook on certain things because it's trying to hold as close to the book as possible. Now, looking at our roster and how much time that we've had, we're one pen, and we've passed that 2-hour mark. So maybe Sparky may want to come to an end of his show sometime soon. You would think.
Well, I'm just letting you guys talk.
Yeah, no, I've been paying attention to the time clock and a few other different things, and normally this is
here. We're fine.
yeah, because this is where you have this cutoff that you would like to have naturally, but I'm giving it out just in case. Because we could be here for a while.
We could keep going for a while.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you guys, so since you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the show then. Thank you.
Hey,
for
great!
everyone.
I'm being a good co-host, not just leaving.
Well, Kendall has connection issues.
And she
too,
wonders why I removed her name from the title card.
Yeah, she had connection issues. She just sent me a message.
And I was gonna say, and it's like I didn't do it in a dick way like Antoine did.
True, that is true.
Nice.
I think she did want to come back in.
Also,
boring.
the funny thing is, I had to point it out to her that she was removed off of that co-host spot because she didn't bother to look at the title card. And I'm like going, oh, okay. We have Re-Caffeinated with Sparky and friends. Oh, episode 1. What happened to Penn? I gotta bring it up to her to see if she likes this.
She was so hurt. It was hilarious.
And then I told her to get over it.
Yeah, I know. Look, I've been always campaigning that you get rid of her anyway because she's not that great of a co-host.
My God.
Oh.
No. What did I say the other day, Vlad? What did I say the other day?
Fuck Littlefinger. He's Bran. He sees all and knows all. He's scheming to make sure he takes over.
But yeah, no, let's get the fuck out of here before we cover another, 4 more hours of maybe Game of Thrones or a little bit more dissecting of Dune. Because I do have more to dissect, but I want to save that for the GNF 2 shot at the bar.
Okay, later, everyone.
Peace.
Later.